Well, did I tell you that? So it seems like everyone in the universe that I know is getting COVID. So that's a fun. It's a fun stat, including coworkers. So we're really in a great job. And then you saw those CDC guidelines that came out recently.
Yep.
That were like, we just got to. You got to stay in for 5 days now instead of 10. Like, get your ass back to work. What the fuck you think this is? Like, we out here in capitalism. Like, you got to pull your weight.
Exactly.
Somebody tweeted the SpongeBob like as Scrooge with the fucking dollar sign, leprechaun ass hat with the dollar sign jacket, and he's like. The CDC, they in a pandemic, we in a pandemic, and it's him with a bunch of dollar bills. Bro, I'm gonna send this to Wyatt. We're keeping that in there. We're putting that in there.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. God. My favorite response is the Stephen A. Smith gif where he's like, "I gotta be honest right now. We don't care." it's just business owner. CDC really be like, damn, that's crazy. Y'all be safe though. Fuck. Y'all be safe. Living
off borrowed time, the clock ticks faster. Living off borrowed time, the clock ticks faster. Living off borrowed time, the clock ticks faster. Living off borrowed time, the clock tick faster. Living off borrowed time, the clock ticks 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 faster.
And on that depressing note, we might as well get this thing started.
Let's roll.
Let's get it going. I'm very happy to be joined by Ben, aka CreatedByRejection.
That's good.
Hey, what's up? Okay, great. That was an amazing intro. You just gave yourself.
Shoot, was I supposed to have like a?
No, not like a spiel, but at least you could have given yourself something.
Gosh, I don't know.
Noted. Look, this is the Yeat podcast. Needs no introduction. We're living off borrowed time. You guys know what we're here for. This is it. Long-awaited episode. I've been plotting on this one for months now. I was hoping to get it done over the summer. Really been plotting it since the spring as part of a larger series, but it never came to fruition. So now I just hit up Ben to talk about one of our favorite rappers and talk about Yeat's place not only in his meteoric rise throughout the underground, the brief discography, and the fact that he's already approaching like damn near superstardom at this pace, and what that kind of means for the underground in general, and also kind of the subgenres that may or may not have formed in 2021. 2021, I would say, was the year of rage beats.
Absolutely.
People trying to categorize rage as a subgenre on RYM, which made people very angry because RYM is tethered to reality. Feet firmly planted on the ground on RYM. These are the discussions we need to have. But,
absolutely.
But yeah, if rage was the thesis for the episode, in my view, is if rage was the movement in hip hop in 2021 at an underground and mainstream level, then Yeat was the rapper of 2021. And
I was just about to say,
I don't really think it's a debate, actually.
It really isn't close at all.
Now, granted, you might say, but Caleb, such and such rapper had a great year. Like, did you listen to the 800 RX Nephew tapes that were all great? Yes. Well, not all of them, but that's true. Fine. But it's more than just about which rapper had the best year in terms of all their quality. I think it's a momentum thing. It's a movement thing. It's the fact that a year ago, no one knew who the fuck Yeat was besides you, myself, and, some devoted fans on SoundCloud and in the Slay World adjacent, scenes. And now we're talking about him they could have features on his upcoming album, next month, ranging from Playboi Carti to Drake to, name the artist.
Lil Yachty supposed to be on there.
So we'll see, we'll see where it goes. But just to prime the episode before we get too deep into the artist, how did you feel about kind of the rise of this style of production in rap in this year? With what's your general stance on Rage? Is it because the new shiny toy aspect of it has kind of worn off?
Absolutely, yeah.
And while I'm not disputing the fact that I enjoy a lot of the beats, there is sort of a general fear that I have that it will be played out pretty quickly. However, you listen to some of the beats that Yeat raps over, damn near all of them for the last year, and it doesn't matter. The beat is wholly unique compared to some stuff that was on certain projects that hit the mainstream, i.e. things like the Trippie Redd album. No hate.
Yeah.
I didn't hate that album. That had some bangers on it. I'm just saying, shit like the Trippie Redd album or other albums of its ilk. These are different. So,
well, it's definitely.
Do you think there's a place for variety?
I think that right now we're hitting in the mainstream. We're hitting sort of a stagnation, I would say. But that's just how rap is, kind of as in general. The underground's always progressing. Yeat's always progressing. He's in the underground. He's been big, but he's still firmly planted in the underground scene. I mean, you won't see people on the streets talking about him. But the Trippie Redd album, it's it's good. It's Rage. It's doing its thing. It's kind of where it was back in early 2021, late 2020. It hasn't really progressed, but it's fine. There's no hate, obviously. I feel he kind of is doing the same thing that early Fago was doing with stuff Off the Map, and it's just it's just going fine. I feel yes, it will slowly become sort of commodified. It's going to be a little bit. I feel everyone is already starting to say oh, this is all played out. It's all the same. It's just a bunch of super saw beats, kind of over some a little bit of a high pitched vocal, but it's going to run its course. And for the time being, I think we should cherish it. I think people like Yeat are really progressing that sound. And so I don't see any reason why we should hate on a genre just because it's reaching the mainstream. It hasn't really run its course yet. We should just kind of let it ride, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel that. I think in general, when it comes to any new style, there's always going to be detractors that pop up instantly talking about, how it's going to get watered down and whatnot. And some of that might be true. But
I mean, it is true. That's just how music is. Everyone hears the new big sound and wants to hop on it.
Yeah.
It's not, I wouldn't say it's a bad thing. You just got to know what's if you like it, you like it. And if you don't, you don't. But if you want to dig deeper, you got to start looking in the underground. And that's where things are still progressing in terms of the Rage side.
Yes. At alarmingly fast rates.
Yes, exactly.
and one example of that is the trajectory of Yeat's career. I mean, we can kind of start to chop it up about, Rage discussion aside, we can kind of chop it up about the fact that, as far as I'm concerned, there were 4 people on this website who were on Yeat in the earlier stages. Obviously, full credit to the god Nat, aka Rezi.
Truly stalking his ratings to be up to date.
I mean, you talk about last year. That was the first. I think I saw We Us was what.
We Us was the first
what they
release.
Yeah.
But he was on the Isaiah album. He was also on a Wieland album before,
Yeah, and
so, like,
I heard it.
was
I heard
catchy.
it on the.
Like,
Yeah, I definitely heard him on the Isaiah album. I on War was
Yep,
it right?
it was
Yeah.
War.
So and I heard that in like the spring, like
It was
from
like in May
2020.
or
It was a long time before I actually ever heard like a soul song. Because again, I think I heard his verse on Zaza, the Goonie song.
Yes, that's right.
Prior to, and I kept thinking, because those two features are, in the grand scheme of Yeat vocal calisthenics, I would say they're pretty laid back.
And they sound nothing alike to what
They don't necessarily give you the best idea of him as an artist, but they're definitely good features, and it piqued my interest into listening to the solo stuff, and that was really what started it.
They're good features, but like it has pretty much none of the defining traits that you would say in like a current Yeat song. So like it's understandable that people would listen to it and kind of just it felt very like the rest of Slay World. Like Slay World kind of has their own style, and like he kind of just blended in a bit too much with them. And then I think once We Us dropped is when people were like, okay, this guy's doing something a little bit different.
Yeah, and who knows how many of those people there actually were, because I would be remiss if I also didn't mention J Word. Shout out to Seth, aka J Word, on the site. He's been hugely influential as well in terms of looking and following him and talking with him over the last like year and a half or so. He was on Yeat as well pretty early. I actually remember I listened to Yeat solo, I think, right around the time that I saw a comment. He left a comment in the comment box of Matt, I believe, and was like, "I got a new favorite rapper."
Yeah, yep, I remember seeing that.
It was very, very ironic considering the path that I went on myself with Yeat over the last year. But yeah, really from We Us on, I was just like, "This is crazy." Like I just remember not hearing anyone like him, and it was so diametrically opposed to someone that you would think would blow up.
Absolutely.
I mean, nothing even remotely accessible is the wrong word, but just even remotely something that you felt people could really, really catch on to outside. If you're not already
in today sounds like him, like anyone.
Which is why we also have to eliminate RYM like as a website for music discourse as well, because there are just some brain dead takes in some of these comment boxes, as usual. The worst place to be.
I just have a group of 50 people that I look up to, and then the rest I disregard. It's just I don't value your opinion.
The comment box is truly like the what it's the truly egalitarian place to voice your opinions on music. You could call it the commune of music discourse in the internet age. Definitely the right metaphor that I'm using for it right now. But it would be a commune of a lot of not so great individuals.
Yep.
Yes, a commune that doesn't accept artists that are not male that make music. But anyhow, in the vein of Yeat, one thing I have seen recently is either, and I know we're jumping ahead, but I want to cycle it back to the beginning too. I've seen the criticism of X song sounds like this song, and all the songs sound the same from him, or I've seen a lot recently because of recent events on social media, but I've seen like, he's just doing Autumn, or he just sounds like blank or blank. And I'm thinking to myself, do y'all actually listen to the music? Like,
no.
Were you listening? Like, listen to like some 2018, 2019 Autumn.
There's absolutely nothing. They're not close.
And then listen to some 2020 Yeat, or some 2021 Yeat, or some 2019 Yeat, if you want to go back that far. The only the real valid claim you could make, because once again, no one should actually think Autumn and Yeat sound alike. The only valid claim I think you can make is in the very beginning, pre-We Us. I mean, in the very, very beginning, and because Yeat's been making music for a while.
2016, I think, is when he started.
Yeah, and originally from Portland, just for some background.
Mm-hmm.
So, interesting place to grow up in, because now
He said that he moved to New York then because he said the Portland scene was
it was so dead, right?
Yeah.
I think that was the interview that he gave a few months ago.
Oh yeah, Our Generation Music.
Our Generation Music. Yep. Yeah. So I was thinking about during the interview, but I was thinking about how because he mentioned a little bit about being like a Wayland, or is it Wheeland? I always botched the name. I just botched it again on air.
He says Wheeland. It can be whatever though.
So I'll roll with what the artist says. So he mentioned being like a Wheeland affiliate in a way, like just kind of being around him and learning from him. And if you listen to music, it sounds like he's just like a Wheeland ghostwriter, which is not a knock, but it just sounds like that's what you're hearing. And I don't think he really shed that until
I think what I remember from the podcast, if I remember correctly, is that Wheeland gave him like presets because he thought his were garbage and he didn't like how they sounded. And so a lot of the stuff in his early days sounded like Wheeland, I would say, because they were kind of both in that same, they're both using the same sort of, they're both in the same sort of style. They were bouncing off each other, I would say. Although Wheeland blew up way before.
Right, but long before, but it was a different type of sound.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure, yeah. And that's what I think, like, now you listen to those two, they couldn't sound more different. So it's just like about...
Especially the way he's gone.
Especially now, it's just like a complete...
It's like synth pop.
180, trajectory for both. Wheeland was making a lot of, like, stuff that was operating in like the Zan Gang, Go Yard, Plugg.
He was very like to me that was like the Plugg like archetype. That was like the defining point of was that like 2017, 2018 Wheeland. It was just like pure Plugg to me.
What was the cover? Was it Grimy Youth was the album?
Grimy Youth and
right was the other one, right?
The other one was shoot, it's gonna kill me. Pack Runner.
Pack Runner, yeah, that's what I thought. I'm brushing up on my old Wheeland because I hadn't listened to his albums like since last year. But yeah. You had those albums. It's just like a little historical primer on and a background, because there's barely any information on him prior to some of these recent interviews that he's been doing. Yeah,
he was kind of just like another underground guy that didn't really have a background, just kind of came up, and
so like imagine
no one really knew about him.
This is like, imagine it was the same shit in like middle of 2020 when I was adding Sofego to the database. Like you just have to like,
which is insane.
Which of course,
looking back at it now,
shout out to the mods just giving me shit for some of the things in that profile. It's like no one knew anything about this motherfucker. Like what? Just come on, like leave me alone. Like I knew he was from, I knew where he was from, and I knew like his name. And
like, come on, he was like he has like,
and I uploaded 1 million songs and albums, so leave me alone. Like
he already had like a whole album produced by Tech at that point. Like it should be like he should be like he's a certified artist. You don't need to verify anything.
Leave me alone. That's a whole other. That's a different dissertation that nobody wants to hear. But yes,
shout
out to the mods on that website. But overall, my overall thought process is Yeat has quickly become easily, regardless of era, regardless of genre, you name it, one of my favorite artists, one of my favorite rappers.
I would absolutely agree.
So, it was such a reason I want to do this episode, because this was the year of Yeat. 3 albums.
And an EP.
An EP, damn near 2, because I heard the second one.
Hold On.
Late in 2020, and I
That's
still
right.
played it throughout 2021, so I kind of think of it as 5. 800 singles, all of them good. Just a ridiculous amount of, leaks, snippets, you name it. It kind of gave me the feeling that it was kind of the feeling of like listening to Playboi Carti between the years of like 2017 and 2017 to 2019, except all the shit that got leaked was just actually put out. That makes any sense, because there was so much Carti music around that time, but how much of it was actually official with a trademark symbol next to it,
Yep.
So that was kind of my general thought process.
I think Yeat's whole sort of like mantra and sort of like thing is that he wants to put out music. Like, I know there's like leaks and all that, but like, it's pretty clear also with like like you said, 3 albums, all of them are like at least 20 songs,
20 plus tracks.
Like, he wants to drop this shit. Like, he's ready. So I don't think Cardi's like that, to be honest, but
no, and then that's a whole different approach. It's a
whole different way.
Nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely nothing wrong with it.
I think in many ways it's aided Yeat in terms of the blow up hype cycle process.
I would say too, because he's not releasing songs that like he knows will get big. He's kind of just dropping a big tape. Like, he didn't release Sorry About That as a single. He just kind of put it on there, and like everyone was like, wow, this is the one. Or like songs like Money So Big, everyone, he didn't know they were going to blow up. He kind of just is throwing a bunch of songs on an album and somehow they just explode.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is, it was a very organic way of blowing up, Like, sure, I mean, we can get into this later, but sure, there might have been some, like, you would think if you hadn't heard him before Up to Me, there would have been some, like, knowing, like, winking about the Bell stuff. But the problem was, or not the problem, the reality is, he was doing that shit 2 albums prior, if you actually listen to the... So it was just already an integral part of the music.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where I am on that. Now, in terms of, Yeat as an artist, before we get into some of the main stuff, obviously, eventually we'll get it on tangents, and there's going to be a lot of quotes in this episode. There's going to be a lot of attempts at rapping hooks and things. So we're just going to get that disclaimer out of the way now, so you can, laugh at us lames in the comments, all right? Or maybe Ben won't do it, but I'll do it. I'll take the fall.
No, that's okay. I'll be cringe with you. Don't worry.
Cool. All right. We'll post cringe. It's cool. Is there anything that you wanted to talk about prior to We Us? There are some projects out there. Deep Blue Strips is the earliest one on the website from 2018. You got Wake Up Call, which has an unbelievable cover art. Let me just throw that out. I mean, just a 10 out of 10
it really
cover
does.
art. Bro, they got bro as the Sims Yeat.
Yeah,
with the Nickelodeon green slime ass font. I
really have no idea what's going on.
His apartment's getting ransacked by those women. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't have much to say about. I mean, most of those are like they're fine.
They're just like your standard,
I think Different Creature is pretty good. Different Creature, the album, or the mixtape from 2019 is pretty good.
Like I've listened to all of them, but like it's hard to like really, come up with like a take other than it's just fine. It's just good.
Yeah. It's I think pretty good. You're not like reinventing the wheel. It kind of sounds like an artist that has clear and obvious songwriting chops, but still is like developing the sound a little bit.
I think he would agree with me in terms of that too. Like it's almost like a different artist. You're seeing some of like what he's good. Like I feel like the lyrics too are pretty.
There's like some evolution.
But yeah, it's definitely there's some evolution. But it's almost like until you reach like We Us, like you're not getting the full Yeat experience. You're kind of just getting like almost like demos, I would say. Even though it's like they're still good, it's just kind of a different vibe. Definitely not the starting point if you're looking to get into Yeat.
No, but I think it's an interesting time capsule to kind of go back and look at now.
For sure,
I would say.
I
mean, what I was going to say was in the Summr's interviews, Our Generation Music, once again, plugging them. They don't need us to plug them. They have a big enough.
So good.
Great interviews. Definitely, if you're listening to this podcast, you've probably seen some of their interviews. But there was an interview with Summr's recently where the interviewer is trying to break down Earl Sweatshirt's takes on Get Busy,
Mm-hmm.
The which, by the way, Get Busy, fourth wall break of the year. We'll get to that.
Yep.
But the interview was trying to break down why Earl didn't necessarily like the fourth wall break on Get Busy, but he first has to break down what the fourth wall is to Summrs and his friends.
Oh, that's right.
Which is one of the most hilarious things I've seen in like the last 6 months.
What does he call it? The fourth
dimension. He calls
fourth
it the
dimension.
And he's trying to do the thing where he's trying to explain it in like a movie perspective.
Yeah.
Which is the right way to explain it, but the problem is like he explains it, right? And he does the movie thing, and then Summrs goes, so what does it have to do with Yeat? Shit. It's so good because these fucking guys have no idea what the fourth wall is, and it's just
they were probably tweaked out of their minds too. I can only imagine what was going on.
The whole side cast of Friends was definitely the the whole squad was absolutely slumped on that couch for real. But I just couldn't get over the fact that they're trying to break down the football. And Summrs gets it. Like he's like, all right, I get what you're saying. But why does he? And he's like, no, he's rapping about the song on the song, and he's and it was just the disconnect between the trying to explain it to them, and Summrs trying to relate that to the original discussion point of like, what does that have to do anything? Hilarious.
And then they just like give up, and they're just like, let's move.
They give up. They just move on to like Summrs is like, oh yeah, he's like super talented. We love Yeat. Like he's found a sound, like all that stuff.
Yeah,
it was just so fucking funny. It painfully awkward because nobody else was saying anything, and it was just like those two talking back and forth. Really,
it definitely was hard to watch.
Inwardly cringe moment, but I guess we can get to We Us to start this off. I mean, EPs are pretty short, so we should be able to move through them, and this is an outstanding start to the Yeat discography.
Yeah, so it was back in April, and it just 3 songs, and but it had some stacked lineup. You got Go-Go with Summrs and Isaiah, and with you got Mingo on production. So that immediately caught my eye. I was like, there's 3 guys already.
Because I had only known Mingo previously from like Isaiah production when they were on various different. I mean, all the 2020s and True Clarity, and you throw a dart at a Isaiah song.
Yeah, there was some. Yeah, exactly.
In addition to a lot of other Slave World stuff, but I just kind of immediately jumped to Isaiah. So it made sense that was like a feature artist on it.
Yeah, I think Isaiah was like my first Slave World thing that
mine as well. It's so dumb that I listened to him before Summrs. Like Summrs,
it is true. I'm like in Autumn. I imagine I can't.
We were like ridiculously early on Isaiah, but like we didn't hear Summrs in like 2018.
I think it's because didn't Matt give it like 5 stars?
I think so.
And I was just like, okay,
it was something where I was following. It had like 2 ratings, and it was like Matt and one other guy, and I was like, all right, I guess I'll listen to this because like it looks interesting. But I never clicked on like the features because I mean,
I always check out the features. I love looking at the features.
I had heard Autumn like probably 2 months down the road, like in the spring.
Yeah, I would say it was fairly after that.
I mean, I heard R3. I can still say I heard R3 when it had like 3 ratings. So whatever, like so.
We were ahead of the curve in terms of RIM. I don't know how much in terms of the rest of the world. In terms
of the mainstream, like we definitely heard Nina before it had like when it had like what, like 100K, 200K, like it didn't. Nina didn't that much, and now it's like song. So.
Yeah.
Same was still the same, so we were ahead of the curve on that. Still the same, perfect song by the way. Perfect.
Oh yeah.
Stop comparing Autumn and Yeat, please, for the love of Christ. If I go on TikTok and I see one more TikTok,
that's such a bizarre comparison.
Autumn better or Yeat better or whatever. Like, who gives a fuck, dude?
That's such a bizarre comparison. Like, it almost isn't even like you shouldn't even do it at all. Like since early 2020, they've sounded nothing alike.
Nothing alike. I mean, nothing alike. The Autumn Summrs sounding alike in like 18 and 19.
No, that's warranted. It makes sense.
Warranted. You listen to a song like "Can't Take It," another perfect song. they kind of sound the same. I mean, Summr's comes in and is a difference. You can tell, you can differentiate, but I wouldn't blame anyone for saying. Or I think a song that I was genuinely confused the first time I heard it because I didn't know who was who.
Yeah.
Was the song they did with Kobe? What is it called? Why am I blanking on the Out of My Mind? The song.
Out of My Mind.
That one, when I heard it, like when it came out, I was like, okay, I know all these artists separately, but who is who on this song?
Well, it's the combination of, they kind of have a bit of the same flow, but they also share so many of the same producers that it's just like you can listen to them back to back, and the producers it all kind of sort of, if you listen to it enough, it can sort of blend together. With Yeat, the production is about as different as you can get in terms of like underground trap. You have your laid back, like sort of like chill, minimalistic, icy vibe with like Autumn and Summers, and then you got like in your face, like barging synths with with Yeat. It's just not.
But that wasn't
the same.
That wasn't always the case. And
it wasn't always the case. But I'm just confused now that people are still saying that. Like if you said that in 2019,
people don't have brains. That's why. People want to like take sides in these like arbitrary, fake.
Too much faith in people.
Fake macho rap beefs or whatever that stem from like an Instagram post. It's like, honestly, the fuck even cares? Like, what are you doing? Like,
I don't know why people tend to choose sides with artists. Like, just enjoy the music or don't. Like the whole anything that's like pitting rappers against each other about who's better. It's just like, it's worthless.
Certainly a take, certainly a opinion. But as for We Us, I mean, it's short, but it's great. I mean, Go Go is like the standout, but
Go definitely the standout.
Not Enough is also fire.
Mm-hmm.
Not Enough is definitely one that I really fuck with, and I gotta say, one that I haven't heard enough from in terms of like the producers. Like, we need more of. I mean, they've done a bunch of other Yeat stuff, but I mean, where are they going to be? Like, where are they going to produce on some other tracks? Because you look at their like main pages, it's just like a lot of the same. Like, it's Yeat and like some Surf Gang affiliates and like Zelio, and it's like, although now my mind is blown because now I just saw one of them was on the Blade record this year. Now I have to investigate. Which
wait, who? Who was on the Blade record?
It was it Klebo?
Really?
I don't know how to pronounce that. If I botched that pronunciation, I'm sorry.
Also, I think it's cool that they're both of the producers. They're Dutch. Not Enough are from the Netherlands.
Yeah, they're Dutch producers on Search True.
Shoot, you're right. Why? Yeah. That's such an oversight by me. I should be all over that.
All right. Well, my brain just evaporated. So that's really cool.
Okay. Yeah.
You learn something new.
I do.
You learn something new.
Also, there's another. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, we don't have much to say about We Us other than it's really good, and I think it's like not an ideal starting point necessarily. I mean, you've probably already listened to Yeat songs if you're listening to this, but I just mean, if you're looking to go back, this would be about as far as I would go back.
This is if you wanted to start at the beginning, but you didn't want to start all the way at the beginning. You kind of wanted to start at like where, if you were to listen to a Yeat song and say, okay, where does he start to do this sort of style? I would say We Us is where you should start.
I would agree. I would say if you want to listen to an early song that's really good, listen to Dead Rising.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good song. And,
yep.
It sounds different. He does kind of sound like Whelan, but, it doesn't matter. That's another thing. X artist sounds like Y artist, not a negative, not a bad thing in a lot of cases. That's another argument I see a lot in like tired hip hop discourse. Is like, dog, please miss me with that. Like it's fine if they're like defined in their own way, then it doesn't matter. Like
exactly.
Come on, guys, what are we doing? But do we want to move on to Hold On, which I think is like
Hold On holds a special place in my heart. Yeah, definitely.
I listen to this all the time. Also, shout out to those of us who were in there early.
Yep.
As I see, there was one. Well, probably two ratings. There were two ratings before mine.
Yep, and then I followed quickly after you.
Yeah. So shout out to those of us who were in there. We had the whole squad. Whole squad was in there.
Yeah, I got in before Ghost did, which was a proud accomplishment.
It's an accomplishment. This was the one that I was like, when I heard Nobu for the first time, I was like, okay,
Nobu is still a top 5 beat song for me.
This has the chance to be like a favorite artist. You know what I mean? It's that
still
that instantaneous feeling that you get when you're like, okay,
Yep.
you put Nobu and Money Fetish back to back on a project. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna listen to this guy for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, I just realized that the Nobu producer is also the same as the Broly Day 2 producer, which makes sense.
Same tag, same producer. Yeah.
Yep.
Arena. Shout out to Arena. There's Arena. It's the producer tag. Nobu. I mean, we just want to spend a few minutes on like Nobu.
Yeah, I mean,
like what? I don't even know what sounds like that.
So yeah, it was the first track on the EP, and I just remember putting it on, and I was like, it wasn't even the production that got me at first. It was his voice. I loved the way he sounded. I just thought it was like, it was new, it was fresh. It was at a point where I was like, okay, I'm listening. Like, I love Slay World. I love their sort of style. I love all their, but like at some points you get to a point where when you listen to a 30-track Isaiah or Summr's tape, it's like it gets like the voicing starts to become, their voices start to blend. Yeat to me was like a breath of fresh air. It was like it was doing all the things that I loved about the underground and then placing it with this cool ass voice, and I absolutely loved it. So that was the reason I first was like, whoa. I loved the way he flowed, I loved the way he sounded. And then it was only later when I was like, okay, the production on this is what's actually amazing as well.
Now, at the time, were you listening to a lot of Slay World around the time you listened to this, or were you just listening to other shit in the underground? Because I was listening to a lot of, let me see. I was listening to a lot of like traditional Mexico Dro Cash-esque Plugg around the time of this. So like a bunch of like, I was listening to like Booppak Mookie for like the first time, like stuff like that. Where, you know, things like was it Garden that record I was playing.
Garden when Garden came out
around that time. Yeah, that was a really big record for me, like late in the year. So this was a totally different switch up, but with Garden, his voice was so unique, and it went to another person whose voice I found so unique. So it was like a crazy switch up in production, but it hit the same wavelength for me. So listening to Nobu and just like the ad libs.
Oh man,
like, come on, like pull up. Like, come on, like the fucking the way that like the little 808s hit subtly in the background, and then like you have those like the hi-hats kind of like dance in there.
Oh man,
I don't want to get too into like pseudo Fantano, you know.
That's not what we're about here.
Yeah, but we're the way that they kind of like dance and like reflect off the beat, like come on, that shit is just crazy. And even in the beginning of the first verse, because in both verses he switches up, and this will go into a longer dissertation later, where it's like he just has so many flows.
The flow on this track is
we're gonna
unbeatable.
continue to go at people who just think that a lot of his songs sound the same, because bro has so many flows. It's actually ridiculous.
It really is.
The first verse, because he'll do like the double time shit in the middle of the first verse.
Yep.
And in the second verse, he comes back with the singing. You know.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do it because I'm gonna botch it, but I just mean like the singing aspects of it, where it gets like super melodic, and then it changes up again into the hook, which is the hardest shit, as you already know, because it's Nobu. It's a perfect hook.
Yep.
Yeah, that song is absolutely ridiculous. Not to sell Money Fetish short. Money Fetish is also ridiculous. Like that beat,
bro.
Come on,
this was like
that hook. What are we doing? Like, first of all, how has no one in rap? Well, I don't want to say no one. How has very few people in rap music made the concept of Money Fetish? Like, we've done a lot of. There's been like offhanded lines about like, you know, wanting to fuck your money and all this other shit.
Yeah.
You know, but especially nowadays. But like, it makes no sense that a song titled Money Fetish didn't exist until like a year ago. Like
Ahead of the curve.
It seems like such an obvious point where we are in the culture.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you would have thought that Lil Durk made this song already. And it would have been good. But instead we got this one and it was fantastic. Yeah.
What a track.
Oh my god! And the whole part in the first was like, no, 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 why you wanna blow it up? Why she call my phone so much? I know she want like the little like just bits of where it gets melodic after he's like doing the prototypical Slay World flow.
Mm-hmm. And then that's what separates him for real. That's why it's almost comical to say that he sounds like any of these other because
they're doing very different things. Like Yeat would never, I don't know about never, but Yeat is not making songs with like the downcast emotional heft of a Plugg and B song. That's like really great one. He's not gonna make one like Yeat didn't have a breakup and make the early 2018 like Summr songs. He's not gonna make a song like Fatigue. He's
just on X every day, and he's just gonna go tweak and fucking party. Like he's like it's like turn up.
He can't decide between the perk and X. I took them both.
Right.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
And by the way, I know I just kind of said this sort of thing about emotional heft. There are plenty of Yeat songs that I find have like serious emotional weight to them. I'm just not. So I don't want to ascribe that onto the whole discog. I just mean in the songwriting sense, it's a lot different.
And then in the general scope of who they are as artists, Yeat definitely has a more.
And even in how they're doing their voices, there are Summr songs where he sounds like he'd be crying in like 2 minutes, and I don't mean that as an insult.
No, absolutely.
It's a part of what makes Summr's music hypnotic. Like Autumn's music, you can hear a lot of like pain and regret in there.
You hear it's a lot of real life experiences, whereas Yeat, there's like while there is real life, it's more. With Autumn, it's like everything is very like it's about him. It's about his story.
It's more in the literal sense.
Yeah.
Where like you hear a song like Recollections of Loyalty and Pain, which is another absolutely perfect 10 out of 10 song.
I'm right there with you.
You hear a song like that, and it can only be made by Autumn because it's
because every lyric is about himself.
Song. Yeah, exactly.
You can't sing that if you
don't have a dog. So it's not a 1-to-1 comparison from what the artist is ascribing to do.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but overall, I mean, Money Fetish, perfect song. Whelan, great feature. One of my favorites from him. Louis Backfield with Cash.
Yep.
Not much else to say. Perfect hook. Playing tennis with his bitch. I mean, find yourself a girl you can play tennis with. Shout out to Yeat, man.
Yeah.
One of the 800 quotables that we're gonna get to. But,
absolutely.
But yeah, but the other two songs, I mean, also great songs.
What's Up? I know What's Up was one that I also took immediately to my playlist as soon as I heard it.
What is that? What is that sound in the beat? Like what's the synth arpeggio? What is that? Like what is making the little like it's not like a blaring sound, but you know what I'm talking about.
No, I know. Yeah.
This is great radio. We think of what it is, but either way, that sound is super cool, and the way that like he just kind of slowly, kind of like luxuriates in the beat is nice. So
yeah, for sure.
Definitely fuck with that.
Mm-hmm.
Song heavy and Geeker Day, great song too. I mean, just 4 for 4. Not much else.
It was immediately a 4 for 4 for me. I was like, wow,
with two career best songs.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
No question. So yeah, that's kind of like the baseline. I would say that, for those everyone listening is gonna have a different experience, but I'm sure a lot of people came in with like a lot of 4L or Up to Me or a single in between those two projects. That seemed like when a lot of people came in. But for me, it was I think for both of us, it was probably Hold On. Where
it was Hold On, and Hold On, I was
sold. So like obviously We Us was great, but like Hold On, I was sold on like, okay, everything this guy drops from now on, I'm gonna be there day one.
Yep. and Hold On, I feel like was the first to like really dive into that rage sound. Like he kind of dropped all of his previous sort of like, you know, Plugg and like, you know, standard trap, and
like
he
the influences from his like associates. Yeah.
He kind of just went full force into rage, and that
Which is funny because I don't really hear it on most of it. I really only hear it on like What's Up.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, but I mean,
like,
you're not wrong, because obviously, I mean,
well, no, I wouldn't say like, obviously, like stuff like Nobu and like Money Fetish isn't like, it's not rage, but like it's, I don't know. There's something about the way those songs are. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I feel like
seeds of what was to come.
I feel like that was where it kind of like he found his sound and was like, I'm going to run with this. I'm going to make a career out of this.
I would agree because rage is also rooted in, I mean, as much as it's rooted in electronic music, it's also rooted in Plugg too. So
yeah,
you know, still there's like a hybrid there. Yeah, I think like it was the you know, shout out Ornette Coleman. It was like the shape of
shape
of, you know, only podcast in the world where you can talk about you know, cinema, Ornette Coleman, and Yeat. You know, don't fuck with me. And also various gambling exploits by myself. So, and you know, we're versatile on here. You know, we don't discriminate.
Any topic is welcome.
Any topic is welcome. And this is where we start talking about the 2021 stuff. Where
what would you say is the
late 2020 like songs like
the first Rolly Day.
Yeah, the first Rolly Day, and like. It's OD, right? That's how you pronounce it?
Yeah, I think maybe. It might
OD is like an expression, but I don't know if like, I mean, Yeat's not from like New York, so I don't know if he's doing like that's OD or anything like that. I mean,
yeah,
that was just where I grew up. That was an expression, but that's a great fucking song. That was another one where we were on those singles. Finally Free, which uses the fun fact, uses the same sample as Mr. Rage.
Does it really?
Yes, it does. If you listen to Finally Free, it's the same fucking. You won't be able to miss it.
Gonna check it out.
One single that lived in my car outside of OD was the Meh remix with Autumn.
Yeah.
Absolute fire. This song is so fucking good. Yeah, it was a part of a time when Autumn was doing that. He had to jump out the house.
Mm-hmm.
He had other stuff going on, so he was doing like, you know, remixing of Whole Lotta Red songs. And out of everyone that remixed the Whole Lotta Red song, they did it the best. And this was around the time when I kind of thought Autumn could be the new Uzi, the way he was rapping.
Yeah?
Because the way he was rapping on like Solitary and some of these singles around that time, it gave me an Uzi, like Probably is literally an Uzi song.
I definitely see that.
It's also like one of the best Autumn or songs in general. Like that's, I mean, another song with Yeat on it. I mean, there's not much you can say about Probably. Like, it's some of the hardest rapping he's ever done. It's probably the top 5 hook he's done. It's got a great Yeat feature. He's talking about, you know, something like the Rari. Yesterday I was in a Jeep.
Yep.
Yeah. What a song! What a song that is. But yeah, I mean, that beat is also absolutely disgusting. By the way, so that's a crazy beat. But Autumn around that time was rapping in a lot of the same like Uzi.
He did have very sort of some of the same like.
It was a lot of like Eternal Take vibes. Now, obviously, I don't think it was intentional, but to me, it just sounded like the first Eternal.
No, he definitely was not trying to rip off. Yeah. He was just
It was a similarity, and then of course, since that point, that Probably flow has become like the Plugg flow of 2020. When you listen to people like, I mean, Antisocial is literally that song. And Antisocial is a great song. It's just literally that song. Santana said in the interview that he listened to the Jump Out the House remix before he made Antisocial. So it's I'm definitely certified that Probably was hugely influential in the trajectory of Autumn's career, because I think it made him like a little more palatable to like rap. You know, like the people that wanted more rapping instead of more plug and B. And I think it also just, I mean, you know, Baby Santana, Slums, people like that. Like Santana was making plug and B, he was making Prada.
Yeah.
Before he made Antisocial. Antisocial was like the one. You know,
I still cannot believe that Santana blew up that much.
It's pretty crazy.
Like that, like literally 45 million streams on Spotify is like, that's like unheard of for like those kind of underground rappers.
I mean, plug music in general just dominated TikTok like this year.
Which is, and like, I don't like go on TikTok for music.
About things that we didn't think we would say a year ago.
It really is.
Yes, Yeat, Playboy Cardi, and Plugg dominated TikTok in 2021. It's like, great. That's. Like,
it still shocks me today that like people will like pull up stuff like Knock Knock. And I'll be like, wait, what? Like you like, I know it's popular, but like, it still gives me a shock when I hear like.
It really gives us like justification though, because we were, at least myself personally, internally thinking when you first hear a song like Knock Knock, or when you first hear a song like Off the Map, you're like, how in the fuck is this not bigger? Because it just doesn't sound all that different from things that can and should be bigger. And I think this year was like a revitalization of people diving back into artists that came from SoundCloud, because you had that period between 18 and 20 that I thought was a lot of regional based artists blowing up, stemming from playlist culture and YouTube and things like that. But, you know, things like Polo G, Roddy Ricch, I mean, great artists, but like, who were coming up that was like, okay, Roddy sounds like, you know, Young Thug via California. Polo G sounds very much like Dirk, and you know, a couple other artists, while also being a unique songwriter from, and very obviously a product of Chicago. Sort of thing. So you're reaching, you know, Young Boy's exploding popularity, deeply regional rapper.
Absolutely. Getting he's national. Like a god in Louisiana. Like people worship him.
That's what I mean. You're pulling regional rappers from different parts of the country. I mean, even Baby Keem, I mean, nepotism, duh. But like, Baby Keem, to me, doesn't sound necessarily like he's from a place. But you can, I mean, if someone's like, oh, he's from California, I'm like, yeah, he sounds like Schoolboy Q. Like, you know, with a higher pitched voice. So I can understand the whole, so it was a lot of these rappers that were blowing up that were going of that variety, which felt very like early 2010s. But then we got back to like the mid 2010s with this year, because it felt like, I don't know if it felt like 2016 again, but to me it felt like 17. It wasn't quite the same.
2016 was just too good.
16 had too many of them, but it wasn't quite the same. We were not quite getting like, you know, a Cardi and an Uzi and a 21 and a Yachty and a whatever in the same class that are all superstars, but you're getting like a very well balanced, you know, hey, here are the really young kids who, you know, love all this shit. Oh, you want some young teenagers making music? Here's Santana, here's Slumps, here's you know, their affiliates that they'll make music. Here's SSG Kobe, who's going to be like the R&B leaning artist. I think eventually he's going to go in that direction, like artist of those people, you know. You want like the straightforward rap, oh, we can give you like you know, an artist like maybe Autumn, because at that time Autumn was doing a lot of more rap focused stuff. Now he's back on the plug and B shit, but you know what I mean. Sort of that aspect, if you want somebody that can evoke different things, and Summr obviously comes with that as well. Oh, you want like a sneaky like artist that's an affiliate but does a lot of beats and like is kind of an enigma, sort of like how 21 Savage was an enigma when he came out to some people. Oh, here's Can. I bet you won't like, you know, he mumbles half his lines. I mean, not actually, you know what I'm saying. He kind of like draws half of his lines, but the songwriting is really good and the beats are amazing.
The amount of hate that Can gets is.
I mean, well, you know, there is some. There's
a reason, yes, but the amount of musical.
There is some off the mic Can slander that is justified.
Yes, but the amount of musical hate compared to like, compared to Summr, compared to Autumn, Can was the first one where I really like fucked with him. I was like, even before Summers and Autumn, I was like, wait, I'm really digging the way this guy's flowing. I love the beats. I love all that shit. It was, what was it?
I got into him after, but like, was it Fast Cars and Codeine something or whatever?
Shoot, was it? No, it wasn't before AMGs.
I'm botching the. I just botched that. Whatever that mixtape title was, I botched it. It's got so many that I'm trying to. Fast Cars and Cody. No, I got the right one. Yeah. That was one that I had heard before K2 and before K3 and Can Gianni and all the basically most of the mixtapes, but because they were all like 5 minutes long. But Fast Cars and Codeine was the one where I took notice. I was like, oh shit, this is really good.
Yeah.
And before AMGs and SRTs is his best project.
Yeah. No, I would actually agree. I would totally agree with that. But yeah.
That's just crazy. So I also
it was before K2 was the first one I was really on. That was back in March. It was released back in March, but I remember checking it out in like June. And that was crazy. That had like Zangang, Wi-Fi, Vinay on it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and that was the first time I had heard Vinay, I think, or at least one of the first times, because it all gets kind of jumbled into.
It really did. Like that, like mid period of like 2020 was like a gold mine for like discovering that sort of Plugg and B vibe, and sort of I was just listening to everything that like they dropped beforehand, like, and I all kind of blended a bit together. I remember picking up so much good shit from that. That was fun. That was such a fun time to listen to music.
Like Summer 2020 was definitely like spring summer 2020. I was listening to like unhealthy amounts of Slave World. Like I actually thought that I was gonna like start drinking promethazine. Like it's not been a thing that like since like Future, like 2014, 15 Future, like we were really hitting it. So it was like kind of drowning yourself in codeine, but in a good way.
Mid 2020 was like when like I feel like Plugg really. Because like Plugg had its like sort of like big. It was like big back in like 2016, 2017.
The OG Mexico Droves. I mean, Broke Boy was like the first Plugg song I ever heard for sure.
And then when Gassed Up came out, I remember that was huge.
What was it? Fucking Plugg, the Rich the Kid song with Kodak.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it kind of stalled a bit, but then Slay World definitely picked it right back up and brought it back to the mainstream, I would say.
How do you feel that Plugg music evolved in the 4 or 5 years since it was like in the mainstream context?
I mean,
the beats are different now than like
the beats are different. They're
your standard production tags. You would just hear like "bitch," like it's not the same. It's not the same. Like Mexico Dro even put out projects this year with artists, and his beats sounded different. So like, what do you think changed?
Gosh, I feel like it. Wow, that's actually a good question. I'm trying to think of how I would answer that. Do you have an answer? Because I don't know if I can like really pinpoint what is exactly, because they're absolutely different. I don't think anyone's debating that. I would say there's a lot more. I don't even know, because like the production is different, but it's mainly, I would say, the rapping that's going over it that has changed more or less. There's a lot more emphasis. Obviously, there's a lot of Plugg and B, but like the singing on tracks, there's a lot more melodic, vocals nowadays on Plugg tracks. You would never get in like the OG, Cardi Mexico era of 2016.
Right.
That is the one thing I would say that has really progressed in terms of the Plugg sound, is the vocals have completely changed.
Yeah, no question. No question. It's definitely a wholly unique sound, and how rappers approach the beats.
Yeah,
I think it's
absolutely,
different. And how producers approach the beats too. I think it's also different. They're not necessarily as sparse, I think.
Yes,
as they were. That would be my one question. Not that I think like Broke Boy is a sparse beat, because there's a lot going on there. But I just mean in general, like sometimes, like I think the snares hit a little harder and the 808s hit a little harder now than they did back then.
Also, I feel like there's more, like there's deeper talk, deeper lyrics on some of these more recent things.
Sure.
I mean, you're not getting like some of the more like trapping and gang sort of speak on some of the Slay World stuff. You're getting more from the heart.
Really, it's a lot more like inwardly looking. Yeah,
yes.
It's not like you're listening to, a song like Plugg, for example, where it's kind of like Cardi, Rich the Kid, and Kodak all doing their own thing on a track, while all doing their own thing wonderfully on the track. It's just a different sort of vibe, Shout out to the Plugg music video, which has like peak 2016 like hypebeast fashion trends, which I just like. I didn't realize I needed to see again because that's great. Cardi's wearing like Palace, and it feels like so long.
Oh man,
I think he had on like some OG like Cement Force or something. Oh, so it was back in the day. It feels like
2016. Summer 2016 was like, maybe that's just like nostalgia from being like 16 years old, but like what a fucking time for music.
You can't give it nostalgia. That's how they win.
I know.
They're gonna make a movie of your life and make it nostalgic and everything. You're gonna end up like the fucking Spider-Man out here. Is this the time where we just talk about Rolly Day 2 for 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
first of all, let me give RYM a little credit. This is a 3.92, which is deservedly so. It should have a 5.00, but we'll get there at some point. This is top 5 Yeat, and this is a Rolly motherfucker.
And
let's go.
This was like, because like, and like you said before, you were talking about like the bell and like how like, everyone was like, oh, like he just added that in.
He just right. That's his
like,
marketing. His marketing team added in the bell. That's what it is.
Literally, the first thing you hear on this track is bong. Like he was in on this way before like everyone else picked up on it. This was like his thing, and like I guess it was only recently that people were like, oh, like maybe
until he actually said it on the song.
Exactly, and then everyone was like, oh wait,
oh shit, I guess it was turn, and I guess there is a bell. Fuck, I didn't realize. This song's turn, and it has a bell in it as well. And my God, this fucking hook, like it's just like almost he takes a breath, it feels like, and then it's almost just like a run-on sentence, and he's like, I dare you to rap this as fast as me. like money came in as a Rolly Day, pause, fucking 808 hit hard as fuck, diamonds they dancing exotic, yada yada, the whole shit.
You just gotta listen to it. If you haven't listened to it yet, pause the podcast. Go listen to it.
Podcast. If you haven't listened to it,
3 minutes.
If you listen to this song and you don't like it, I haven't said this in a while, you can't listen to this podcast. So I need all of you to listen to this song because this is top 5 Yeat, no question. When Yeat said I signed no deal unless more than I make and then times it by 8 because that's what I say is the hardest line, and I wish I could say it to my boss every day. So for those of us, we're trying to get that New Year's raise, times it by 8. That's what I need in life. So yeah. Also, he says, best believe I got perks and a Zans in the attic.
Yeah.
What kind of attic? Like what kind of house?
I don't know why he. I made him.
Did it like sound more phonetically pleasing than like closet or like drawer? Like what? I don't know.
Well, he says he writes nothing. He does it
true.
completely.
It's all
off the top. So maybe I don't know. He was.
I mean, if he did this all off top, we gotta just change the game because that's just ridiculous.
It's almost unfair.
Yeah, but it is. And we talk about the flows. It's like a run-on. It's a run-on sentence where he's doing different flows in the run-on sentence. Like by the time you get to the, I know you capping all your raps because you don't do shit. I'm trying to get money, get all this bread, and then he switches it again. So like fuck you with blah blah blah. And you're just like, come on, come on. Yeah. Also, he said, do I need to come back and slap the shit out of you because you talking that shit on my name? You don't know shit about the shit you doing because everyone told me I'm like a lame.
Yep.
What a couplet. What a couplet. There it is.
I love the way he does his vocals where he does almost like the sort of like the Detroit trap sort of style where he'll there's like no breaks. He kind of just like he records his last his last little bit of the sentence and then records the next sentence over it. It's all kind of just like one blending run-on sort of thing. It's not like you're not getting like a bar, a little bit of a pause, a bar, a little bit of a pause. It's just it's just
Also,
love that.
Side note, I gotta ask you a question.
Yeah.
What the fuck is a VLONE runs? Do you know what that is? Because I don't know what that is.
Well, I mean, I know what both of these things are separately. But, I mean, do you, like, I'm just going to do a quick search just to see
Because maybe VLONE makes...
No, they do.
Oh,
it's
and that's why he says...
dominant cannabis
that's why he says you're smoking on mid, because it's literally mid.
Wait,
that was
what the
good.
fuck is a VLONE run?
VLONE runs.
Yeah, because like if you're smoking on that, you're probably.
I mean, you're down horrendous. If you're smoking on that, you're liable to get clowned. Like, come on, bro. Down horrendously if you're smoking on that. My God, what the fuck are we doing? Not like a weed aficionado, but Jesus Christ,
exactly.
You gotta do better than that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
this. I mean,
it's a perfect song.
This was the song that was like, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, what a career song so early into like your career.
And it's like a song that most people don't know. Like, look at the views on this shit. It's not high. I mean, it's higher than like some other singles, but it's not like that, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, it's pretty nuts. But yeah, perfect song.
Mm-hmm.
Not much else to say about it. Shout out to Yeat. This is a rollie. That's the AP. You know, you send your money, you're a fucking midget. When I send my money, I'm 6'5". You know, some of us, we send in our money, you know, we're still a midget, but that's just because we're short. So
this is like an Uzi callback. It's like, stand on my money, now I'm 6'6".
No, he does it a couple times, but we're gonna get to another one soon, very soon.
Yeah,
where he does that callback. The last one that I can, there's two before the first album that I can really think of that hit.
I know one of them.
War 2, no question.
War 2,
no question. Shout out to I think Matt, who said originally how we got this, but War 1 still unreleased.
Yeah, War unreleased. Yeah. Oh,
this was another one. I mean, I keep saying another one, but all these singles before Alive were just convincing me this was like my new favorite rapper. Like, no question. Like this, like Alive was gonna be my album of the year because like the way that it was progressing.
How that changed though with two other projects that dropped. Yeah,
the fucking beat on this is unreal.
Yeah, I don't actually know the producer, but crazy. They're very.
Come on, man.
Yeah, they've done like nothing. But yeah, insane.
Yeah, great.
Crazy lyrics again.
The songwriting on point as is customary. Yeah, that shit's absolutely ridiculous. So we stand.
Yeah, it's like, what was it? I'm trying to remember the one lyric that I liked. It was like, you're playing like April 1st, bitches April 5th or something like that. Like what?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, it's an awesome fucking song. Jesus.
Yeah.
Not much else that needs to be said personally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then what was the other one? You said because there are a couple that I remember, but what was the one? You said you had another one.
JT Uzi, the JT Uzi remix. Yeah, because that was one that it was so fresh off the Zaya record, which was a great. You know, the original song was great.
Yeah,
they killed the remix. Didn't expect it. Very surprised.
And it's sort of a different style than we were getting accustomed to with stuff like Early Day 2, War 2. It's sort of. It definitely had a bit more of that, like, that Slay production, I would say. I mean, obviously it's produced by Isaiah, but, like, it was just a cool little detour, I think, that he went down before fully embracing the sort of sound that... Because, like, once Alive dropped, then it was all like Yeat style. So this was like the one right before that he kind of harkened back to his olden days, and then yeah, Alive dropped. I think pretty much right after.
Sure, very, very shortly after.
Yeah, it's got to have been like, or no, it actually came out before. Alive came out before, actually.
Oh, you know what? It did because a few days before. Very, very, very similar. Yeah, I know it came out in the beginning of April, so I guess we'll get to that because I was listening to this a lot. I remember I went to see a friend in April, like recently after this came out, and this was like all I played on the car ride. So I do remember that point. This album, I mean, what more is there to say about this album?
To me, the first 8 tracks are his best run, and that's kind of a big,
it's a huge statement, and you might not, and there's a real chance that you're not wrong.
Because, to me, like 4L's his best, but like I just remembered those first 8 tracks when I heard them, just like blew me away.
Yeah,
and we'll get to them, but yeah.
I mean, this is I think this and 4L are tied like overall for my second favorite. Spoiler for those of you. I mean, for those of you listening to this, you're probably listening to this after our year-end episode has come out, but both of these albums were tied for number 10 overall on my year-end, and I would have put them higher if not for the sake of redundancy. They probably could have been closer to like they were 7 and 8 at the mid-year. They probably could have been there again, but I didn't want to be too predictable.
Yeah, I think all 3 of his drops are in my top 20, with 4L being.
Yeah, they're all
surprisingly up to me at the bottom.
At the bottom, yes.
Which is
heathen behavior. We'll talk about it at some point. Absolute heathen behavior. No, sir. But yeah.
Okay, so like, what are like your standouts here?
I mean,
there's a couple
you did name it with the first 8 songs.
There's a couple we'll both agree on, but I feel like there's a couple we'll also are like.
I was like tripping out over Always Alive, that first track. When the album first came out and I threw on that song, it sounded like a totally different artist.
The way I described it in my head when I first came out is it sounds like UFO music. It sounds genuinely like outer space, like futuristic vibes. Yeah. Super crazy beat. I was like, this is like stuff they play in like UFOs. That's how I thought of it in my head. What a crazy ass beat that was to start.
It is. The vibes are immaculate, and the rapping. I mean, the hook is great. It's one of the best beats on here. I love the part where he's like, "They say Yeat, why the fuck is you growling?" Yep. Oh my god. I mean, I could give you every word of the songs. I'm not gonna do that because that would be foolish. But like the way he's like, and I guess that's fine by me. For a year straight, every week I had a new kid sounding like me. So, I mean, just like the little shit, Yeah. The part before brushing my teeth, feeling blessed like I just sneezed, the whole thing. But that's a great Reddit. Tonka, which I didn't know at the time, would be like a huge motif in like the Yeat.
A lot of what was on this album sort of set the stage for all of his sort of like motifs. What he did.
The song titles, It was definitely. It was the start. It was
on here. You got.
It was the start of a trilogy that we didn't know at the time was going to be a trilogy. But yeah, definitely spaceship music. Die Before though. Die Before. Mm-hmm. Like, come on. I mean, that beat. Like, they talk about Rage. That was like the Rage beat. Like
I love how you were always just like that beat, but like you could say that about like any of his songs. It's just like, I know. I just think it's funny that like that's like what else do you say?
Okay.
What else do you say? Like it's hard to be like you can't really be like technical about it, and nor should you be with this kind of music. But like you just have to listen.
We're already gonna get clowned because we talked about. I said the phrase Yeat's vocal calisthenics, which is a real thing, but it's fair enough reason to clown me. So anyhow,
light them up in the comments.
Exactly, just incinerate me. It's fine. Die Before is a perfect song. I mean, I don't know. I don't really say it's not even. It's funny. It's probably like not even one of my 5 favorite Yeat songs this year.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also perfect.
Yeah.
It's just, and I'm not surprised. Like that was the one that I heard that I was like, okay, this one should blow up. That was the first time I ever thought about a Yeat song like that. But I was like, no, he's still doing too weird shit with his voice. Like when he hits the super high registers in the second verse.
Yeah.
It's still too much.
You had faith. I love Yeat. Both like
Did I say that in the comments? I have to go back and look at it.
I have to say, like, I couldn't see it. I couldn't see it. I was like, I love him and I want him to succeed.
Yeah.
But it's just not going to stick with the public. It's not going to stick with the mainstream.
Yeah, I had faith that it would be music that would have an impact, and I think he would get like a cult following, kind of.
Oh, no question.
Kind of like Autumn and Summr's had at the time.
I was not debating that.
A SoundCloud vibe cult following, because he was only releasing music on SoundCloud for the most part at that point. So that's what I thought.
I'd just been hurt too many times by saying, "This is the one. You're gonna blow up." I'm so excited that my favorite artists are gonna become big because I know they are, and every time I'm let down. So super happy for him, man. Really.
Die Before OXY is a cool hook.
Mm-hmm.
One song that I always loved is fucking the first time I heard the album. My favorite song was Back to Bed.
Back to Bed.
That's not still the case. Back to Bed is still amazing.
What I think most people consider a highlight.
That beat is fucking. I mean, once again, that beat. You know, the amorphous. Yes, the musical breakdown of just saying that beat. But how am I going to describe this beat? It's one of the best like Rage era beats you'll ever hear. Like it's just fucking ridiculous. He's fucking. I love the concept of woke up to some bullshit. I went back to bed. It's just a genuinely hilarious concept, but he doesn't sound like he's trying when he said that, which makes it all the more funny to me.
There's a lot of contradictions by him because he's always like in this one he's like, I'm going back to bed, and then the other one I can't remember the other song he says. He's like I'm awake and you still sleeping like in your bed, like lazy or something. I don't know, but like. Yeah,
he definitely does do that. I enjoy all of it, very much. So
it's so funny. Like
it's such a great song, and like the way that he stops at the end and lets the beat ride out for like 25 seconds. Which, if you have listened to this podcast ever, you know that is one thing about me that I have always maintained and always held steadfast on in my beliefs, that one of my favorite things an artist can do in rap is let the beat ride out. Conversational flow, humor, and quotables, and let the beat ride. And you've got like an elite rapper. So I'll definitely agree with that. The highlight goes right into Trendi.
Yep.
Which has an awesome hook. The way he's talking about you can get stepped on is super funny.
Yeah.
And the way the beat like kind of like is woozy and moves in and out, and he's like, oh my gosh,
you love me.
And he said, I got all the fabrics. I got the highest fashion. I don't know what he's saying. On the
I got all the it's like. I got the highest fashion.
Got all the highest fashion. Something.
I don't know what he says after that, but.
Oh my god.
OMG and the AMG.
Oh my god. Yeah. I mean.
Yeah. Y'all talking about Yeat? Y'all talking to Yeat?
Yeat. Yeah. So shout out to.
He's like, it's like I ain't going to sleep. I've been up for a week, and then in the song before, he's like going back to bed.
Hey man, you know.
It's like I was like,
and sometimes you gotta wake up and take an eggs for breakfast. So that too. But I think my favorite song on here, to answer your original question, despite all the good things I've said about the first 6 songs, is Ecstasy. Ecstasy. We talked about this kind of off air. Like we did. Ecstasy is might have the hardest opening line to any Yeat song, which is "I'm in Neiman's, we gonna shut down the store." Which my friend and I just lose our minds every time. Because it's such a hard way to open a song.
One of my favorite things about Yeat's lyrics is that they're not like. First of all, they're not overly complicated. They're not. No. He's not trying to do any sort of like. He's just saying, I don't know. Every bar is a bar. Every like lyric that he says is like a catchphrase. It's like a phrase.
Oh, every Yeat song has at least like 2 hooks in it. It's not even just one. Like you thought one chorus was enough.
Yeah.
Yeat's not playing around with that shit. So I would definitely.
I feel like Lil Uzi part.
Yes, and that was the thing I was
so hyped.
That is a reference to a song called "Run It Up" by Uzi, which circa 2018 in the summertime was my shit, and it was a leak, and it was on the OGG DVD that came out that year, and it was like there was a YouTube clip of it. It's like a 1.5 minute long song.
I got schooled. I didn't know any of that. That's a deep reference.
You know, sometimes I come with the heat. You know,
you do. You usually come with the heat, though. So
sometimes I do. That was an OGG, on the OGG DVD, and the song was running up, and it was like, you know, get them bands now running up. Get them bands now running up, stack my man, and it ended up. But the actual song like eventually leaked a while after, and it was it ended up being a song that was like chilling on YouTube and like purgatory.
Yeah.
Like it never got like an official release. So, but that song was like some of Uzi's hardest rapping. Like, diamonds all in my buster. Like I used to know like the whole, you know, 1.5 minutes that would be on that DVD.
Yeah. I already got it checked. I already got it saved.
But what he's saying before the song starts, he has like 45 seconds where he's just like, that's what I said a little bit. Yeah. That's what I said a little bit. That's what I said a little bit. Now what?
Okay. I see.
And so when you hear Yeat go, I feel like Uzi. You hear what I said?
A little bit.
That's the reference to.
Got it.
People listening to this are like, whatever, guys. I knew that already. But
damn, why I didn't know that? Don't make me feel bad.
It's not like a super well-known Uzi song, but because I am a, you know, especially at that time, was a big Uzi fan, you know, definitely locked into the Uzi wave.
Yep.
At that point in time.
Well, we'll move on to my all-time favorite Yeat song, which is a controversial
this is your corner. I'm clear.
This is my corner. This one came very naturally. It was like the more I listened to this to Alive, the more I fell in love with this song. The song is Lifted. And to me, it just has everything. It's not even like a very Yeat-y type song. It doesn't really sound like, you know, most of his other stuff that he currently puts out. It's a lot more. There's no like, you know, the super saw beats aren't in there. It's not very ragey, but like, man, I don't know. The lyrics on this one are just too good. They're just too good. I have so many that I could quote. I'm only going to quote a bit, but man,
are you also crazy?
What?
Are you also crazy? And he's like, I'm crazy.
Oh, that's right. Yep. Yeah. I'm crazy. Yeah, he does that ad lib quite a bit in this one. But, I mean, this could fill up all my lyrics to me. It's like these diamonds bust like rivers, these bitches the Missouri River.
Yes. Wow. Absolute bars.
Love that one. Honestly, the whole verse that he does in this is just chock full of some of my favorite lyrics. I just hope if I'd OD, they let me rest in peace. At RIP them pussies, just tell them rest in piss. She says she want a Birkin bag, told her drink my kids. Far. And then when he goes into the stick my dick in a peach emoji, left that bitch unread for weeks, reply with a beach emoji. Let's go shopping, finna send this bitch a Balenciaga emoji. What would you do if I was wrong? What would you do if I was broke? Even though I wouldn't be.
Damn. What would you do if I was broke? Definitely big thinking emoji energy right there.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to the Peach Emoji Bar, which I forgot about, and also Yeat and Timothy Chalamet, basically same guy. same guy, bro. Just we're sticking our dick in peaches. That's it's a bar. It's a bar. Thanks, Yeat.
It's like I'm so goddamn high. Look like this bitch got on 2 thongs. I don't know. That line always makes me laugh. It's such a dumb line. Like it doesn't like. Yeah.
That's one that I forgot about. That was good. That was genuine right there. God damn.
I don't know why it always made me laugh, but like, and then he's always like, shoot, he's like talking about like if he was like a politician, it's like they should like delete jobs and like just get high every day.
Felt that. Is it proletariat member Yeat right now?
No,
What are we doing out here?
Perhaps.
What are we doing out here?
That'd be crazy turn of events.
I would love it.
For our proletariat friends. Yep.
Damn. I would stand. I'd be here for it.
Yeah, that my personal favorite Yeat song. It's probably for about 4 months now since I really got back into listening to them. So yeah, check that one out. But it's not one of his hits, but it's still great. And then we move on.
Yeah, I mean, is there anything else on the back half? Because we kind of ignored the back half in terms of. Back half still sick.
For sure.
I mean, War 1, sick song.
War 1, 2 Up,
2 Up
features Yeat on production, which
would get into more because it would increase in subsequent songs and albums. True to You is a sneaky great song. I love the hook, like the concept about like go up or I'm gonna die trying sort of deal, which is not like an unusual trope, but definitely fire the way that he did that. So yeah, definitely. Yeah,
and then I think Sleepwalking was the other one that I remember really, really enjoying that first time. There was one line that I remember really liking. I don't remember it now, but yeah, definitely I don't want to say it's front loaded, but like it kind of is. Like all the classics of this album are.
There's like 8 classics start the album, and then the back half there's like 3 or 4, and you're like, all right, well it's still great. That still gives you like 12 classics. I will say a slept on song in the back half that I love. I think Last Day. We talked about Last Day. Last Day is a great song. The original Twizzy, a song that would last the test of time, but yeah, I fucking love his album. There's not a single song that isn't good, as is you're going to hear me say about the next 2 as well. But I mean, this is outstanding stuff. So
what a great first major project to put out. Such a just the way he was able to sort of form his identity with this album and then continue it, and everyone is still on board. I don't know. Just a great start in terms of a big first project.
Yeah, definitely a big first project. It still didn't, to me, I mean, it felt like an album, obviously, but I think the capital A albums are coming, especially, the Up to Me. Sure. But I do think that this one definitely felt different. Like I said, when you turn on Always Alive, it just feels like you're listening to a different artist.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's kind of my general assessment and vibe of the record. But yeah, Alive, excellent record. Yeah, 743. This user on RYM is. I think it's got to be a bit at this.
Oh, is that the review? That's
it's real bad. It's got to be, but it's got to be a bit at this point, right? Because it's just there's something going on with it. So it's got to be.
How do you know about people like Destroy Lonely and all about Slay World and stuff like that, and then just I don't know. I feel like some people know too much about underground rap and still hate on it. Why are you bothering?
Yeah, I think it's a bit. So I won't give them any more energy, but we'll see how it goes. So in between Alive and 4L, we had singles. Many of them, as is tradition. And what were some of your favorites?
what is it? First Haunted? Is that
Well,
come
that
out
was
before?
just after.
That was just after.
We'll
Damn.
definitely talk about that one.
Okay. I was just after. I'm like, I
Definitely talk
can't.
about that one. There weren't
mm,
as many because it was only 2 months between albums.
It was so quick. It was so
very
quick.
I was shocked at how quick this one dropped.
Oh, Come Again for sure was.
Come Again was good. Definitely good. I think what else was on there that well, we had the That's a Rack Yeat version, which was definitely interesting. We had the what else? There weren't actually as many as I thought they were because a lot of them came out just after 4L. But I don't want to miss one that is like a super fave. And then what else? Coming Out was definitely really good.
Yep. When was the
I think that was it. I thought no, yeah, I think that was literally, I mean, there were some other singles, but like in terms of ones that I think were highlights, I think that was it. So
yeah, because it was what was it, like early April and then early June?
Yeah, early
was when both of those dropped, was when Alive and then 4L dropped. So yeah, he probably was only working on songs for the album and then just dropped them. There was no singles. It was just right into the next one. And this
for real, as the album would say, yeah,
really.
I don't know why you let me get away with that. That was terrible. But anyhow, this album, once again, much like the last one, you talk about coming out the gate with some songs. I mean, remember when I said I flipped when I turned on Always Alive for the first time? Yep. The day this album dropped and I turned on Teslas and Rovers for the first time.
I think I had my volume set very high when I first listened to it. And I remember being like, whoa, oh my gosh. I need to turn this up louder.
Yeah. That was, I mean, I don't even know what.
So yes, Teslas and Rovers, what a way to kick it off.
Dude, my God.
And to be honest, the first 3 tracks are just absolutely stellar in this thing. Like, this is the entire thing, but wow.
The first, I mean, it just opens with like murderer's fucking run of songs. Like,
yeah.
Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, we always talk about Teslas and Rovers, how insane that song is.
Yeah.
But I think it's also important to acknowledge that when I heard a particular song, I was like, okay, this might be the best song of all time. I don't know. It's not actually, but you know
if you're thinking about the song that I'm thinking about,
you know what feeling you get when you play a song and you're like, okay, so for the next week, I want to figure out how they made the song. And then for the next week after that, I want to figure out how this song is so good and exists because I need it in my life.
Yep.
And that song would be Sorry About That, which just instantly hit. It even kind of like instantly hit TikTok, but it didn't fully get there. But I mean, over time, it eventually grew and morphed into this, monster. But when I first heard it on TikTok, I was like, holy fuck, this is it.
The way I got chills when you said the song title, because it just like immediately brought back the first time you heard it. And I literally I remember that first week, it was almost solely, I've never done that with music before. This was genuinely one of the first times where I sat and I listened to a song over and over again. And I just thought, I cannot believe that something like this came out.
Yeah, unbelievable. Unbelievable. And it's happened with a couple of different songs that we'll get to, but I just this was one where I remember just immediately I'm like, yep, where it's going on the Insta story. We're putting it on the RYM stuff. We're recommending, get highest recommendation to this album. Like, let's go. Like this is it, boys. So yeah, that song. I mean, even just like the 9 different flows in the hook.
It's got to be the most quotable song of the. Well, I mean, there's probably one other one, but yeah, I mean, one of the 2 most quotable songs of the year to me. Yeah.
Unreal. Just the level of. I mean, people trying to find out what he was talking about. Like, AT what? She what?
It's ATE, as in like 8.
Oh no, I know.
Okay.
I'm talking about the reaction.
Oh, no,
yeah.
okay.
Oh, come on.
No, I got you. I got you now. All right. Yeah.
That was me when it first came out, though. I will concede that was. I was like, what? What are you talking about?
Actually,
Yeah. ATE, bro, just saying words like.
he's just saying letters, man. ATE, ATV. What the hell?
That's honestly that's fucking brilliant. Like, yeah.
And the way
even to this day though, if I hear the hook and it's just like and it starts like she me up, I'm gonna be like, ATV was she riding? Like no question. I don't care what is going on. Like,
oh my god, bro! They played this at the Lucky concert and people were just losing their damn minds.
Flex went to a Lucky concert. Flex.
Okay, but yeah, I mean, this was like, it just like it was like because. Like, I knew Yeat was, like, a thing, and I knew he was, like, blowing up on TikTok and, you know, blowing up everywhere else. But, like, seeing, like, that many people know all the lyrics to this, I was like, wow. Like, you didn't even come for Yeat. You came for Lucky, which is, like, kind of two different sort of styles of rap. But, like, the fact that everyone knew all the lyrics to it, crazy. It really blew up.
And, you know, we have to stand.
Yeah,
like we're you know that's elite, unreal hook.
I genuinely could talk about the song all day, but you've probably heard it and you probably know what a good song.
You probably know you probably know what it sounds like. You probably know it's a good song. You know, if you don't like the song, hate to say it, you're gonna be that guy that can't listen to this podcast because that's
literally why would you listen to this podcast if you don't like it? Like
I talk about things like vocal dexterity and like different inflections and
spewing more jargon.
Exactly. See, I'm getting clowned by my own guest here. But that's the type of song that.
No, I was actually gonna. If you didn't say it, I was gonna say that as well. Like when he's talking about the Cuban link and he's like getting all growly and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, that's so hype. That's so hype.
Just got off the phone, Macho, with a brand new Cuban link.
And then he goes,
my favorite line,
like, what's up? Which that pause.
My favorite line is when he's like, they told me if I buy another Tesla, I'm helping
out the climate stuff.
Helping the climate,
yeah. I love the I'm not a kid, I'm a man like Packy. I love that.
Yeah, you know
too. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then he's repping Issey Miyake and Arterix and all the.
As someone who owns Arterix, we stand that it has become a.
I wish I had
a fashion item. We stand. If
I wasn't broke, that would be one of my first purchases.
You can get some pieces and shit on Grailed. You know, anyone in the audience.
Yeah.
That knows. You know, we're interested in Arterix, so we're out here. But yeah, I mean, there are other great songs on here. It's an excellent album. I mean, For Really, great.
For Really was
great
also
switch up after the like hyper diving into the deep end of the first two songs. You need that break.
Yeah.
So yeah, shout out to For Really. Just Woke Up grew on me a lot. Like from when it first like I just woke up to a bag.
Yeah.
Which vibes. I didn't feel that, but I wish. What the Fuck is a great song. Also, shout out to Starheart, the producer, who is going to produce some other songs that are also great with Yeat. First knew of him from his producing videos on TikTok, where he would like put on like a medieval accent and just like go nuts to like his beats. Strange guy, but great beats. Love it. Good for him that he's.
So you got the TikTok corner down. I unfortunately am not. Too versed in that, but
my algorithm is entirely underground TikTok, so that's like and then the occasional like thirst trap that will have a Yeat song on it. And I'm like, all right, like
okay.
Target market reached, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But like I mean, Chanel, great song. We talked about Off Air, Benchy Cold. Benji producing. You want to hear something that might shatter your brain that I didn't know until recently? Nick Mira has a producer credit on here.
Wait, really?
Yes.
Wait.
It's on Just Woke Up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nick Mirror, the only redeeming thing about internet money in the year 2020.
Yeah. No, I'm fully on
No
board
question.
with you.
Question.
That's so weird.
Fuck internet money. Anyway, Off the Lot classic. We know what that is.
Off the Lot, yeah.
We know what that is.
Proof Song with September's.
Great. That's like my favorite September's feat.
Yeah.
I would say.
That's
I mean,
great.
right there with Twizzy Rich, which we'll get to. But
yeah.
I mean, that's a great song. Mountain Climbers, another
Mountain Climbers. You
Arc'teryx reference heavy song. I love and on Trestles and Rovers is my favorite Arc'teryx reference ever, where he's like, "I bought me Arc'teryx, so I feel like mountain climbing when she climbing."
Yep. Yeah.
Come on, dude! Like, so fire. So yeah, total mood right there with that song. But and then Money Twerk. I mean, Money Twerk, I think it blew up a little earlier than Sorry About That.
Money Twerk, I remember hearing before.
I heard on TikTok.
Money Twerk, I remember hearing because I think my girlfriend showed me like a TikTok with the song, and I was like,
yeah, and it was like the intro. It's always like the first 5 seconds of the song. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, wait, hold on now. Like, is this like I couldn't tell if she was like listening to Yeat or if she was like it was just like a song that like it was like a TikTok song like that like was popular at the time.
Yeah.
It didn't register to me that like he had like blown up like that, and I was like, oh, that's like what? I'm just confused because I didn't even care about what was being shown to me. I was like,
yeah.
I was like, wait, this sound. What is this? Why are you finding this sound? What is
You're
this?
You're snitching
mean?
on yourself here.
I know. I am.
great boyfriend material.
Oh no, I love you. But yeah, Money Twerk was.
We're gonna do like 2 minutes on the Money Twerk hook, like just unbelievable hook. Like, who thinks of this shit?
Yeah. Wow.
I think he said that we rock Truies and Subies for the jeans, which, respect.
Yeah, Truies and Subies, yeah.
Subies definitely, still that's very anchored in like 2017 vibes, like quote unquote SoundCloud rapper in 2017 sort of vibes, where Subies were like the thing.
Yeah.
Subi's been a brand, has been around for a while, but that was just like a hot item at the time. And then True Religions, I mean, we're all just bringing it back, despite
I just bought a pair of Truies. I'm unfortunately,
despite my resistance in recent years, we're bringing it back. But my stance was, hey, look, Cemetery looks better than I do. Chief Keef looks better than I do. So I'm just going to leave it to those, guys that can pull it off. So I'm sure they'll look great.
I always wanted a pair of Truies, but it really wasn't until Cemetery came out where I was like, okay, I'll give in to you. I'm too much of a fan. I'm too much of a fan.
Little Cemetery fanboy. Isn't getting him to sign him at the show or something?
Ah, God, I hate Cemetery fanboys. I don't want to interact with any of them. They're all bad. I hate it all. And so does Sam, so I don't feel bad.
I can't wait until somebody brings a chainsaw to the Cemetery show. I can't wait till how that...
Or just like a sickle and starts like swinging it around.
That would actually be based because communist cemetery. Anyhow,
yeah, and
I mean that Money Twerk is just like what it is. You've heard it. You either like it, you
balder
don't.
Than bald, that bitch Caillou. Come on now.
Bitch Caillou.
Come on now.
Like, what are we doing here, guys? Once again, quotables, and more quotables. We know what this song is. We know why it got big. We know why I see it on fashion pages on TikTok all the time now. Clowning fits, So we know what this is. The Try to Tell You outro is a super underrated song. Just want to.
Which is? I didn't catch
the outro. The Try to Tell You.
Oh yeah.
Yeat outros on all 3 albums this year perpetually.
Yeah, I remember you really liked the Up to Me. What was it? The Lied. Yeah, we'll get to that.
We're gonna have a dissertation on that song. So we'll get there.
2 more before we finish. Okay, Cool really grew on me a lot. That's got Bingo production on it. Love that one.
It feels a lot more sparse than most of the album.
Yes. Which is why I don't think I caught it at first. It kind of blew by me a little bit over some other songs. But going back, really loved it. And then Living High was another standout immediately to me, because it kind of had that very intense, intense beat that I loved about Yeat when I first like remember getting into him. It was like just heavy. It reminded me of like the Alive, some of the earlier Alive tracks, where it was just like very intense beats, and he's kind of going and yeah. I see my life flash in the corner of my eye. Yeah. 2 great songs.
Wait, have you seen the recent comments where it says, I hate to say it, but why does bro have a Thanos gauntlet on?
What?
Look at the cover and like really look at the cover. Like really zoom in on the cover art.
Wait, yeah, what is he? It's like either that or he's got like some huge like boxing glove or whatever. What does he have? I don't even understand.
I don't know. The world's largest like crossbody bag. I don't know. Yeah. Unbelievable. Amazingly sorry about that is my review of this album. So
thank you, Dog Cena.
Amazingly sorry about that. Sorry about that for. If anyone's interested, I think it came in as like number 5 in my songs of the year or something like that, 5 or 6.
It would have came in as number 5 for me, if not been beaten out, because I only do one artist. So
yeah, and well, hey, look,
I know you had like 7.
I had like a lot.
It was
a lot. I think it was like 6 or 7. Yeah, I think you're right. It was. I was trying to keep it to like 4, and I'm like, no, this is absolutely not. So I put 2 a lot.
List.
Yeah, who gives a shit?
Shut up if you think it's.
It was a thrown together list. I did it all in like an hour, so it wasn't like the most thought out thing. But I kind of just went with. I looked at my like 100 most played songs of the year, and I picked like those 50, and it makes perfect sense. Like,
I went through my 3,000 song playlist and just sorted it by like through like a different application, sorted it by like what year it came out in, and then I dragged every song that I thought would make my top 50.
See, this is like real tangible thought.
124 songs.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, shit, I can't like, I was like, there's too many I have to like throw in that I couldn't do more than one per artist. Because I was just like, I felt like I needed to showcase more.
No, so. I'm definitely with you. And last year I did 120, and I think the most I limited myself to an artist was like 4 or 5 in like 120. And that was like one artist. And I think that was like a special thing because they were like a feature on other songs. So I limited myself to like.
And features are different. If features show up, then they show up.
But this time, because I sorted it from my most played, there's a reason why there were 7 Yeat songs in my top 50, like most. But yeah, it's just what it is. But yeah, bitch, I'll be high and enjoys every day of my life. I don't know at all if I should
quit or not.
That's just like the line of the album.
Which also, like, what's your take on like sort of that? Like, there's been a lot of speculation that like bro is like mad addicted. Like it's to the point where it's like getting kind of sad.
Definitely plays a big role in the content and like the social media presence as well. I'm not sure. I mean, there are comments and like tweets and stuff like that. Like he talks about, X and on every song, like, bro, what are you good? Like, so I don't know for sure.
I just remember watching like some of those leaks that came out recently, where he's in kind of like in the background. I mean, bro looks completely fried. Right. So it comes with me being a Lucky fan, where most of us genuinely care more about his health than his music, and we want him to succeed in life rather than drop things. So I feel very like personally attached. I mean,
I will say, it is not the that different from the associates he came up with. People, I mean, Summr is usually not pictured without a cup of some kind. So I mean, look, I'm not gonna be a fucking narc, but
no, obviously not. It's not. I'm not saying that, and I'm not saying that to like hate on it. I'm just like, I don't know. It's people. I just remember people talking about that and being like, "Wow, like, I hope like he's gonna be okay in the future." Because like, I genuinely worry about
Yeah, it's a normal fucking reaction to to care about on a personal level the artist that you listen to. So
exactly.
Yeah. So this is your favorite Yeat albums at this point.
Pharrell is
so why? So you want to do
number 6?
You want to do 2 minutes on why it's your favorite Yeat record?
Oh boy. Honestly, I think it's just, to me, it's the most varied, I would say. I think if you look at it in terms of like what is Yeat's best album as an artist, I would say it's no question It's Up to Me. I think what I like about the trajectory that he's going is that every album is getting better. It's just that this personally is just what I find coming back. I've come back to it more often than I do. There's more tracks on here that I feel like I can listen to over and over again. And that's not a knock on any of the other albums. It's literally just that I think this one, has the brightest shiners. It's got the biggest. You got like Tesla, Sorry About That. You got Living High, Off the Lot, Money to Work, Okay Cool. There was just the amount of, if I were to make a list of like my top 30 Yeat songs, this would have half of them. And so I think it just comes down to, I don't think this album is better as terms of like an artist progression than Up to Me. But I definitely would come back to this one the most.
But you think it's better because you just think it's a better record overall.
That's why I was like,
however, slightly, no, there's no objectivity here. No, you're
no, obviously, no.
Yeah.
Also, I like that the descriptor for this album, the first one is quirky.
Quirky. Wait, hold on. Petition to name the descriptor for the next Yeat album, Tonka. It's gonna be. It's gotta be one of them, no question.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? And 6-piece onion, but no.
Yeah.
I'm adding the Tonka descriptor next time, and they can fight me.
Prepare to get banned by.
I don't care. Diction. I know Diction. Diction and I are friends, bro. You can't top me. I have the ultimate trump card on here, which is I've got Diction in my back pocket, so I'll get him to
make Cloud Dead Cloud Rap on his own. He'll fucking keel over.
Cloud Dead,
whatever. Yeah, so Pharrell done. And we move on
to the in between period of when the anticipation was real amongst.
This was people, when everyone.
Yeah, this is when people that weren't us were like, okay. Like the midpoint between these two albums was when people started to really take notice, and it was because of the infamous Bell Snippet, which of course turned into Get Busy at the time, but it was also because of some lead up stuff. So there was Trendi, which I guess we'll talk about before we get to some of this.
Oh yeah,
Trendy came out.
Forgot.
A lot of people thought that Get Busy was going to be on Trendi, but it wasn't.
Oh really?
Yeah, because the snippet was blowing up, and then he dropped Trendi shortly. And then Mad About That was on there.
Mad About That came out.
People thought Mad About That was the Bell song, but it wasn't. So anyway, Mad About That, crazy song though. I mean, a very funny like sequel.
Yeah,
but like justifiably. So I mean, Mad About That is just ridiculous.
This was also just once again 4 tracks, and they're all fire. They're all great. There's not a dud on here.
Oh my god, the fucking ad libs like in the Mad About That, like like come on, dude.
Yep.
Also, a song that I appreciated more on repeated listens was "Fuck It." Just the way that his like raspy voice, like it's real low in the register, like "Fuck it, yeah." I said, "Yeah, fuck it, yeah." Like just the hook on that, and like, "Watch my money twerk, watch my money dance," or something like that. It's something it connects the two and the whole thing. But obviously the rockin' CDG, but it's on plus.
See Maggie jeans and that chrome heart.
It's like,
yeah.
Come on.
I ain't said I just got a cool heart.
Come on. Come on. There's not much else needs to be said. Great song. And I think Tonka 2, I mean, just the fact that there's a sequel to Tonka is very self-aware. It's a very consciously knowing, like, deliberate decision.
He definitely knows, like every move he makes is very deliberate. He knows exactly what's going But like, I feel like there's some artists that kind of, they put out stuff and then like I love the fact that like he has his own sort of brand. Like, you got Tonka Tonka 2. I mean, it's like, here's another sequel. Sorry about that. Mad about that. Like, I love that he knows like what's like, because like I feel like with some artists, like they'll have their big song and then they'll be like, okay, like we're moving on. We're not going to talk about it. It's just the big song that we released and then whatever. But like, I love the fact that like he knew that Sorry About That was like the song. And then he released Mad About That. He knew that like Tonka was like a brand sort of thing that he had for himself and made Tonka 2. Like, I just love the fact when an artist does that, they're like very consciously aware of what is being talked about in terms of their artistic style.
Yeah, oh, no question. And like, obviously he saw early on that was going to be like a through line, and that's what people found interesting and like also kind of amusing.
Yeah.
And he just rolled with it. And that's like a wonderful bit of self-awareness, while also just making a good song. Like, we know the song's going to be good before we even hear it because it's called Tonka 2.
Exactly.
You know, it's very well played on that bar.
And then the September song that also was on Inside Out, also stellar. Also stellar.
Unreal.
More talk about Cardi in the damn comment box.
We're just not going to avoid it.
Whatever.
You know, a song that doesn't sound like Cardi, that's an insane song, is First 100, which you alluded to earlier, and is
that's right,
quite possibly a top like 15 Yeat song. You could argue this is like the hardest song he's rapped over. I wouldn't agree, but it's like one of them. I think it kind of reminds me of the way I felt about Rolly Day 2 when I first heard it, where it's like in between, like it's before an album that I'm really anticipating, and this comes out and it's like, dog, like this is ridiculous. This is just like some Lucy you had. Like, what the like? Come on, man! Like, what are we doing?
Like, he couldn't even. It's like. Like, he didn't even know that like this was going to be like this could have been like a big hit, and he just kind of put it out just because, and didn't even make it onto the album.
This is a ridiculous. I mean, just like I love the line. I just went and bought a crib. Yeah, bitch, I'm done with apartments. Damn, that hurts right there. That's tough. But yeah, I mean,
bitch, suck on my pickle.
Wait, he's like, do what it is. I'm gonna go take a perk in my backyard again. We got a fucking backyard again.
The bag, that's right.
A reference. Get out of here. Oh my god. Bitch, not booting up your ass every day. You know, the problem is I'm in the top and a whole lot of guap, but it's really no stopping it. Also, they're very like, I use all the time when the song's playing in my car, but you hit the like, yeah. That was terrible. That was atrocious. I hope Wyatt laughs at me when he edits this audio. That was a horrendous rendition of Yeat's "Yeah," but you know, he's on a whole nother new level.
He talks about food a lot in this one, I feel like.
He does.
There's a lot of food references.
Like, he must have been hungry as hell.
Bitch, I got the cheese quesadilla.
Yeah.
And he's like, talk about like...
Mason Mandela, I walk in the store and I paint on my feet.
And then the skinny bitch got a mac and cheese pussy sound like spaghetti. Like, what a...
It's a horrendous line, I'm not gonna lie.
What a, like, but like...
I'm not gonna lie, it's not good. But it doesn't matter. Thank you for ruining that for me.
It makes me laugh. That's all I'll say.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters. But yeah, man, this is an awesome song. And once Starheart produced it, shout out to Starheart.
Yep.
Definitely the best like Starheart produced anything I've heard. And I've heard a bunch of their work. But yeah, great song. Funny cover art also.
Yeah.
Underrated, underappreciated aspect of this song is the cover art. But yeah, definitely on a short list of best Yeat songs, that would be on there for me. So that was a standout single. Some other standout singles in between that period.
The only other one I can remember before Get Busy dropped was Not the Same.
Oh my god. Come on.
That was
Come on. Don't this one, this is my shit. Not the Same. When this song came out, I was at my friend's place and he was like, "Oh shit, a new Yeat song dropped." And we played it and I was like, God damn, this is good. Like, I wasn't even like trying to like it that much. Like,
Yeah.
I was just kind of letting it sink in on the first time, but it was just that goddamn good. And yeah, man, fucking, I'm high. I'm with the Gozbish. I just chill with Buddha. Like, come on, man, get out of here. So, yeah, great song. Even the first, that song is just like Off the Lot. When it comes in, it's so instantaneous, and you know what song it is. Like just the way the beat comes on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like my money's strong, your shit weak. Like it's a vibe. It's instantly. I love how it's like it doesn't overstay its welcome to.
Absolutely.
Definitely one of the more like laid back rage songs if you want to throw it in the rage bucket just because of the synths and shit. If you want to put it in that bucket, then I would definitely say it's like one of the more laid back rage songs. But that song's impeccable. Like don't know how it didn't get an album, but I'm glad it got released as a stopgap kind of single. Underrated one is Watch This. Watch This is a great song.
I have to say I cannot remember this one for the life of me. It's
got an awesome hook. Can't really talk to you about it since you haven't heard it, but Watch This definitely an outstanding hook. So
I was like, damn, I feel like I should have known it too, which is a little embarrassing, but
no worries. I mean, we'll talk about Get Busy on the album, but quick one.
Yeah, so the Snippet came out.
Yeah, the Snippet came out. When was
that? That was like
it's like August, like early August. Late July, like early August, yeah. Because we were recording the Drain episode, and I remember talking to Seth about it a lot. And it was on the episode, I think, where we
it was.
Yeah, I had to talk about Yeat with Seth on there, like had to. But yeah, that Snippet, I mean, it was just like holy crap, like it's happening.
And it blew up surprisingly before it even dropped, which was
before it even dropped. I mean,
which was surprising because usually, like, unless you're like talking about like a Playboy Cardi type like artist, you're not like people aren't like going crazy like in the mainstream about leaks
because they don't listen to them that much, so it's not like
you have to be in on an artist in order to search up a YouTube video with like,
their leaks.
Yeah,
no question.
So that was another bit of a shocker to me. It's like I'm like, whoa, okay, so like people are.
I mean, the fact that it was just like a snippet that was out there, and then somehow someone got hip to it and made the video on the TikTok of them getting hit by somebody else as if they're a bell. Was just, I mean, that started the whole shit. And then you had people like hitting, like doing duets and hitting people like with the bell, and you had people like doing dances to it, and guys that like would usually do like dance editing videos of themselves over like little baby songs. Something like that. We're doing edits of that. I mean, it was just, it took on a life of its own.
And that was when I really was like,
it was surreal.
This guy's gonna be huge.
It was surreal.
Sorry About That dropped, and I
couldn't process it.
Because Sorry About That and Money Twerk were out, and they were kind of like, they were hitting the waves, and I was like, okay, but like, how do I know that this isn't gonna be like
is it just like one song? Yeah.
How do I know like he didn't strike gold in the mainstream with like these two songs, and then he's kind of just going to fall back into being an underground sort of legend? And then the Snippet dropped, and it was all over Instagram, and I was like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
So
it was
this was the solidified point for me where I was like, okay, like things are going to get like really huge for him.
It didn't feel real.
It really did.
It really didn't. It was incredible.
Because like for both of us, like it was like coming from like being like having those like first like 4 or 5 ratings. Like, you never would have guessed it.
Never. I couldn't have predicted it even if I wanted to.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. I mean, you know, shout out to him. Get Busy, you know, one of the best songs of the year, one of the most exciting songs of the year.
That was your like number 1 or 2, right?
It was 2.
It was 2.
Just out of like, honestly, like you could have in theory swapped places with Sorry About That. Like you could have even swapped places with a couple other songs, honestly. but like almost just out of respect for how many times I played that fucking song.
Yeah.
And out of respect for like, I just know the whole thing word for word, and it will never, like, it hasn't, like, it's not going to dissipate for me.
Yeah.
That's that. I mean, it's just like he did it.
And this was the one
when that
where
song when that song came out, like he did it. Like
exactly. This was the one where I felt like this has the long-standing impact. Like this is the one that he will be remembered.
Yeah, I mean,
sorry about that's like the favorite of like everyone who like. I don't know. I just feel like this was the one that.
Anytime you're introduced to a bunch of people and stuff, I mean, it's the one, and it's an enduring song.
Because
it's a song that
right?
It's a song that new fans and old fans like. Yes, Drake saw it, took a picture of him, went on IG, the whole deal. Very funny. But yeah, man, there's not much you can say about it. It's like fucking. It's perfect. You know, when the song first came out, we had a SOS in the group chat, and between me and two of my friends, and it was like when the pull up no came in, I was just like, I'm on a different astral plane, guys. Like, I'll catch y'all later. Like,
I love the way the song starts. The slow growing synth.
Yeah,
it's so good, so good. It almost like catches you off guard about how like quiet it starts, and
it takes like half, at least 50 to 60% of the song before the bell thing, because your brain is so oriented to the snippet that you don't realize that there's like a song constructed around it perfectly.
Yeah, because like when it first dropped, you're like, oh, but like the bell, is it like
because you think it's the hook, but it's not.
You think it's the chorus. You think he's gonna come in with it at first, because Yeat likes to do his choruses like first, and then he goes into the verse, and then he goes back. But like you got like, it's not the chorus. That's the thing.
Yeah, it was just impeccable songwriting. Also, I mean, the songwriting on this is just like, it's a different tier of Yeat then versus now. Unbelievable songwriting. The way, like I said, the way that he was orchestrating the song around that part. And I jokingly said it, I've said it many times, but that's the fourth wall break of the year. Like, no question.
No question.
Movie, album, song, whatever. Like, piece of media, that is the fourth wall break of the year. So
yeah.
You love it. You love to
absolutely love it.
Obviously, you know what the song is if you're listening to this. Like, you probably know what it is even for not listening to this.
If you've never heard of Yeat, you've heard of the song. That's what I'll say.
No
that's like the one you'll know.
And your first question is, why is his name Yeat? And your next question is, damn, this song's really good. Like, so yeah, the Bell song, elite. Not much else to say about it.
And it only took about a week before Up to Me dropped, right? It was very.
He drew out the song process, and I think 2 weeks after it dropped. 2 weeks after it dropped.
2 weeks. Okay.
The album came out. So yeah, I really just want a Percocet. I'm finna get pissy. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, I guess we'll get on to Up to Me, which is
that's you. This
is the one.
This one's for you. I love Up to Me.
We talked about it.
All about you.
We talked about it off air a little bit in the past, because we do talk outside of this podcast shit.
I've never met this
listening.
Guy. I've never talked to him.
Wow, that's brutal. Yeah, as Up to Me is like, and I mentioned how it was the first one that felt like a capital A album to me, because it felt like Yeat and his associates, producers, etc., knew that they had a lot of eyeballs on them this time.
No, I agree. And that's what I said about before when I was talking about 4L, and I was like, I couldn't really explain why I liked it more than like stuff like Up to Me. It was just, Up to Me is like a defining project.
Oh, no question.
Like, it's like, to me, it's like, even though it's my least favorite of the three, there's such a clear progression and like the hype around like where he's going to go next. It's so clear now. Like, it was clear kind of before, but now it's like you have such a great direction you can go into with the release of this. Like, it really feels like a career milestone.
Yeah. Oh no. You know, like
Yeah.
it's encapsulated pretty well, but by you there in terms of that viewpoint, and I would agree wholeheartedly. One thing that I would definitely say is, for one, this album cover is great. Someone was this album cover for Halloween.
That's amazing.
Have you seen this? That's incredible, actually. I would like to shake that person's hand personally.
That's great.
Unbelievable album cover. So shout out to that guy. I don't really know how you did it, sir, but you did it, and I think it might have been related to one of the producers.
Oh, really?
It might have been someone who was related to one of the producers. Like I said, I don't want to misjudge here, but I think it was someone that was related to the producer. Now, of course, I'm going to have to look this up. But I guess I'll table that at some point. I'll find out. But yeah, great stuff. And this is, I know you kind of have to clear out for me with all these albums, but this one was like one that day one, September 10th until present day. Like, I've probably played at least one song on this album, like
every day.
Yeah. Like, it just inevitably, even on like a shuffle thing, I'm not a huge shuffle guy, but just inevitably something from his album will come up.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I'm not skipping it. I'm just not. And we talk about songwriting all the time. Like, this is songwriting du jour right here.
Absolutely.
That's what this is. Yeah, it's unbelievable. So I mean, come on, it's such a simple track, and the beat is so
love
beautiful.
This track.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about this, but this is probably his most like addicting flow to me. It's just so, I don't know. It's like bouncy.
The way it sounds like he's tightrope, on the beat. The way that he's like, yeah, come on, let's get it, let's go. Like the little like hop, maybe don't get it.
At first, I didn't even know he was saying, yeah, come on. I thought he was saying his name, like, for, like, the first, like month.
Yeat,
He was
come on.
Yeat, and he was, like, hyping himself up. He was like, I don't know. And I love
okay. That's actually funnier than anything I've said on this podcast.
Until I realized that he wasn't saying his name. And then I was like, oh, wait. That's still kind of hard. But, like, sometimes in my head, I still think he's saying his name. And it's, like, just a funny, like, thing he like says, like, Yeat, come on, like he's hyping himself up for like this new album that he dropped.
That's actually incredible.
I hope I'm not the only one. Someone please say that.
Someone's probably done that. I'm just clowning you for no reason. Someone's probably done that. I don't want to be an asshole. That's really funny.
Yeah, but like,
that's super funny.
This is like another song where I was like, I don't mean to go back into more sad shit, but like specifically like the line like, gotta take a break from these opiates, sometimes open my eyes, I can't see.
Can't see. Great imagery though, like wonderful imagery. Because I've thought many times listening to that song, I wonder what that feels like.
Yeah.
It's a really harrowing image, and it's not supposed to be. Maybe it is, but there are times on this, like that one, another song we'll get to. But this could be my last song. Like I'm dying on the X. Like, very harrowing imagery. So. But
like I'm pretty sure, like, because like I think like codeine like gives you like can make you like blind. I'm almost positive from what I remember.
I'm ignorant on that, but I'll take your word.
From what I remember from my drugs class that I took last year, I think there's something about like heavy codeine use.
Drugs class. Wow, that's
it was a psychology, and it was like psychology on like drugs and like stuff like that. It sounds like
the whitest thing
shut up. God damn it.
I can say
I needed an elective for my degree, and that was interesting.
I will stop giving you shit, I promise.
You can keep giving me shit.
Come On is an amazing song. There's not much I'll say about it. It's short, it's sweet.
It's short,
and then the transitions right to Morning Mud, which has one of the harder beats on here, I would say. Just from like a pure like, sub bass perspective, and the constant like kind of like punching you in the chest almost. And I love you talk about the differences here, more lyrics that could be interpreted as potentially sad. Like, at least I woke up today.
Yeah.
it's a triumphant lyric, and also one that kind of makes you go like, bro, like, you good? Like, you know, it kind of like if Lucky said that shit and in his typical dour Lucky tone, people would be like, this is like my favorite sad song. But of course, it's not played off in the same way because saying it and it's not an outwardly like it's a hard song.
Mm-hmm. You can't tell if you're supposed to get like you're supposed to kind of like brush aside some of the lyrics and keep like moving your body, or if you're just supposed to like sit there and be like, oh wow, like.
And I don't think the latter is true. I don't think you're supposed to. I don't think
you're not. I know you're not supposed to, but some of the things that he says can catch you off guard.
Oh, it's definitely like a pause moment for sure.
Yeah, it's like but then like I sort of feel bad going back to like, you know, going like headbang in the car like with like the volume up all the way.
I mean, at least I woke up today as like a very like, you know, it's a powerful.
It is a powerful.
It's a statement you can get behind. You know what I mean? Because it feels like you're kicking down the feelings of, like I said, it's like triumphant. So
I absolutely
you're
agree
kicking
with
down
you.
the feelings of like depression or what have you. So
absolutely agree with you.
Yeah. So I mean, great song. Not much else to say about it. Got Rich, the Filthy tag, which of course, you know, a lot of people you'll hear it throughout the album.
Yep.
Big involvement, Filthy's involvement of working on Dying Fame.
And speaking of that, what a stacked producer list this album has. Unreal. I mean, you got like Filthy, you got Bugs Ronan, Shark Boy, you got Starboy Rob on here. Benny X, obviously, Tragic.
He himself producing on track.
He himself, yeah.
Yeah, Benny X is like underrated producer. Talk about
underrated producer.
Anytime you hear
some of my
Benny
favorite Yeat tracks for sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that Lucrative was on Deserve It until recently, but
oh yeah.
So look at that. Just because we only hear that, but Benny X on a couple different tracks. Yeat is crazy. Some of his best production work. Like, I mean, he did You Could Tell. He did The Closer. I mean, he did Back on Him. I mean, bro was just going crazy on some of these beats. Mm-hmm. And you talk about you know, Tragic. I mean, you know.
Well, yeah. I mean,
you made that. Like, come on. I mean, you know, they have like elite chemistry. That's like that's a Lucky and Filthy chemistry. That's a Cardi and Pierre chemistry. That's a, you know. And speaking of Filthy, you know, Cardi Filthy, Lucky Filthy, Yeat Filthy. I mean, you know, I'm just saying, like,
did you hear some of those snippets that he dropped? Did you hear some of those snippets that he dropped quite a while ago on YouTube?
Which
I don't know
which one specifically, because I have heard some snippets. I just don't know which ones.
Because like I guess I wasn't in the know when I didn't know these were out, but like, oh man, it was like in like back in March, so it was quite a while ago. But like, it was like a week ago. I was just like searching up like Filthy snippets because I was just like, what is he up to? And I just saw this video and I was just like blown away with some of those beats that he was dropping. I might send you it later, but wow, it was like dude's on another plane of existence right now.
Oh yeah, he's in his peak. I mean, it's funny because he already had had like a peak, like as just in the collective. But
like you would think that like they're all kind of like, I don't know, like to me like Filthy screams before this year. Filthy screamed like 2016. He was like the Tread God. He was like,
before Whole Lot of Red.
Before Whole Lot of Red dropped, and I was like, okay, he's like on it, and I was like intrigued about it, but I was like, I don't know what he's gonna do.
He ended up being a big part of the sound.
He ended up being a huge part of the sound. Yeah. Huge. Because I thought like kind of like working on Dying kind of
a pivotal Rage producer, even though he wasn't like Starboy or Out of Town, like still a pivotal producer in sculpting what that is supposed to sound like, you know?
Well, because I kind of thought that like working on Dying, as much as I loved them, was kind of like they were kind of on like the fall. Like as much as you hate to see it, like besides like, you know, Brandon Finesse coming back with Uzi, which was everyone apparently hated and they wanted him to leave, which I was like, what? I don't understand. But like
that shit was hard. Don't listen to people.
I'm not. Good thing I'm not.
It was good.
But like after like my favorite member Forza got kicked out, it was all kind of just like downhill from there. I was like, oh no, like Boogie started to not produce as much as he did before, even though he was still dropping bangers, and Filthy kind of went quiet for a bit, and
now this year has been like the year of Filthy. And you talk about, just talk about rising up the ranks of producers that rap fans know. I mean, that's one.
Yeah.
You get all the teenagers, you know, who all the white teens comparing, you know, Cardi and Filthy's work to Yeat and Filthy's work, and seeing which one's better, because those are the only two trap artists you're allowed to like. Anyway, now to the next topic of discussion. But yeah, I mean, not a household name, but in the producer segment, definitely.
Well, it's gotten to the point where if I wear my Working on Dying hat out in public, people will recognize it. Which is surprising, because like I did not expect to see that nowadays. Especially not in 2021. I didn't expect people to be still on the Working on Dying trend, but what do I know?
Yeah, so I mean, Got Rich. I mean, you know, I would say like one of the simpler songs on here. You talk about overdosing on bells. That's the song where it's getting nailed to your head. I knew this song was coming because Filthy tweeted a few months before the album. He was like, "You eat really crazy because he added bells to my beat." And I was like, that's definitely that one.
Yep.
That's definitely that one. So yeah, this is outstanding stuff, that song. And then, I mean, Let You Know, which is like the late contender for one of my favorite songs on the album.
Really?
Like, this song is slept on. I'm sure whatever fucking track rating it has on the website is way too goddamn low. Someone said, how the fuck is it the lowest rated song? And I agree.
It is. Yeah, you're right. It is.
Why? Because that verse, the entire verse is a quote. First of all, just the concept of like, you know, this could be my last song, like all that stuff, like it adds that like layer of somberness again, which I think is well done. Like it's not like turning up the sadness, but it's an interesting like twist on like, oh, I'm just taking perks from my head, but like, you know,
I make the best songs when I'm dying. I thought you knew.
From when we start, from the time he says couldn't decide on the Perkit X. No, he's like, couldn't decide on the Perkit X. I took him. We just laughing at your music.
Laughing at your music, you would know.
The way he says it is so like, it's said with such disdain. And then obviously, you know, I make the best songs when I'm dying. I thought you knew. You know. Not my twizz, you not my twin, you know I'm bro. Like, come on. And then the way that it like builds and builds and builds, and then he goes with now go ahead, pull up on the cops and hit the swerve. I try to tell you everything. Like the way he, and then the last line is,
I've been one of the greatest ever to do it ever since my birth. Wow.
The way that line comes in is like, that line is and I know you can kind of relate to this, or maybe you can't, but this is a personal thing where it's like, that kind of line with that kind of like attitude and like outward
100%. I'm with you.
Is like it's such a stand in front of the mirror and like yell it kind of line, like when you're listening to it, like uncontrollable hype, you know, dopamine level kind of energy. Where it's just like, I've been one of the greatest ever doing this.
You need that like, it needs to come from like the throat, or like you can't just yell it. It's got to be like very.
The amount of times like I've said that line with my chest, and after that I've just been like, let's go, man. Like, let's fucking go.
Great song to wake up to be like, let's start the fucking day like this.
Great song. Start punching things. It wasn't that song, but let me tell you.
Yeah.
But it's also like, it's a vibe, you know, like then the hook comes back in and it's just like, you know. Also, shout out to Earl Sweatshirt, because this was the song that he quoted when he was like, "You got some shit.
You got some shit."
He was like, "What do you say? What do you say?" I said, "Don't come in the door." I said, "Go." All-time video.
Yeah. It's been recommended to me on YouTube like a bunch of different times, even though I've seen it. Like, it's just, the algorithm just loves to throw that video at me, and I watch it every time.
Every time.
It makes me laugh, because every time when you see like the interviewer, like when Earl says that, like,
he goes so crazy,
like, just like they're like really hype about it. So fun.
He's like, "You got some shit."
Everyone's like, "Oh."
My money gets on every day. Yeah, he grew. Like, come on, dude. Like, I wish my money got tall every day, but I mean, that's just like the imagery and the songwriting. We're gonna beat a dead horse, but that's just what this run has been. It's predicated on imagery, flows, quotables, songwriting, and production all put together. I actually think Stayed the Same. I'm not going to break down every song, but like Stayed the Same is like, it's a good song. It's like the only song on this album I don't think is great.
Because I feel like it's just...
It's like a de-escalation point.
Yeah. And, no problems with that.
You need that before Get Busy. You need that before Rockstar, which is a crazy fucking beat.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It does come it does come right before Get Busy. So, like, yeah, you need that sort of like...
Rockstar is like a nuts beat.
Yeah.
I should have to increase my rating on that track because that beat's crazy. Trendy Way, another crazy beat.
Yeah.
Swerved It is another unreal. Like now we're getting into like this is a great capital
run.
R rage. Yeah, this is the more aggressive side of rage. You can hear echoes of Whole Lotta Red, as much as I hate to say it. Things like that. Not obviously nothing against Whole Lotta Red, as but just in terms of how people compare everything to Whole Lotta Red. I mean, Yaya, like that beat is like, I don't know. Like,
Yaya, I'm surprised people are like this is one of his more popular ones, to be honest. But it's just,
it's a hook that is like borderline nonsensical and it's beautiful. I don't give a shit. Like, fucking racks on the table. Let's go. Like, it's another song where he lets the beat right out at the end.
Yeah, that's
strong
right.
choice because it's got some of the hardest. If you crank up the bass in your car, recommend this song. I recommend it.
You keep it on the highest volume when you play "Come On," and you don't let it up until
you don't let it up. Just yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You Could Tell. I mean, this is a popular song.
Yeah,
and it's elite. It's like another songwriting special with the hook where I love the I'm trying to talk. I know I'm the shit. You know what a fucking feel to be this fucking rich. Like the way the alliteration again. You don't know what fucking feel to be this fucking rich. Motherfucker, like, get out of here.
And then I popped the X pill. Half my body
glitch is another great imagery, like drug-related imagery kind of thing here, where you're just like, come on. I just popped the X pill and half my body glitch. Yeah. Aggressive. I get very aggressive listening to that hook. So before more people turn this off, I'll refrain from quoting more Yeat songs.
One of my favorite lyrics that he ever did was on this one. Is the Daddy gonna pull up on me, she gonna go up on my dick like a motherfucker.
7-Eleven cup.
Absolutely go bananas over that lyric. It's so funny.
Like a fucking 7-Eleven.
Dude's like mad genius for some of these lyrics if he's coming up with these off the top of his head.
On the top of the dome. Jesus Christ. That's so fucking funny.
And then the other sad one that I remember on this one is like that. Or not, it's not sad, but it's just like more like I got beef with my kidney. He said that we got a problem. Yeah. That reminds me of like an old Lucky Bar that he would say. He's always like talking.
I got beef with my kidney. Yeah, that's so funny. You want to talk about? I mean, Back on Him is a great little song. Another song that I love. And Hey has a crazy beat.
Yeah.
More like capital R, like rage sound. Back on Him though. I mean, I'm in that big boy Tonka. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Great song.
More bells if you want.
I feel like Turban, like it's one that is a holy shit moment in this back half. No question.
Absolutely. This one is like, I would say it's probably his like hardest, not hardest. What do I want to say? Like
one of his craziest vocal performances.
It's one of his craziest vocal performances. It's also one of like the noisiest sort of beats he ever goes on. It's just like,
yeah,
I don't know, just the way it comes in. If you have your volume all the way up, goes pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he just like, oh no, and it comes in with the hit. Yeah, rocking a turban, sipping on mud, be a bit like bourbon. And then the ad libs. It's a very like Young Thug song. A lot writing has mentioned that in various reviews and things like that. Yeah, it seems like a Young Thug song. The next
super inspired by Young Thug too. So
yeah, no question. Like I mean, the we so up, like we so up, but you know,
but yeah,
it just. I've said the words vocal gymnastics a couple times. That's like the ultimate.
Vocal inflections, anything that kind of just like you have to strain.
I mean, straining at the apex of your vocal cords.
Yeah,
that kind of performance. So I mean, very reminiscent of a Young Thug or a Playboy Cardi Stop Breathing type.
Yeah,
performance where you're demon possessed type.
Or like sometimes with like a lot of like rage beats, like the main point is like the production. This is one where the main focus is the vocals for sure.
Yeah, pinpoint on the vocals, but also to say nothing of the beat, which
the beat's
another
insane.
Expertly placed. Let this beat ride out for 20 seconds, like moment at the end, because it's just you get to take in how nuts the beat is after he's just like messed your skull in with these ad libs and.
It's so overwhelming to hear it with all the vocals and all the inflections and all the ad libs that he's doing that you don't even realize how crazy the beat can get until he lets it ride out, and then you're like, "Whoa, holy shit!" Now I got to replay this and take it all back in.
Repeated listens definitely right. Twizzy Rich and Told You are like excellent songs. Don't have that much to say about them other than they're excellent and I love them. The lyric on Twizzy Rich when he's like, "You got no money, but you judge it. Call you Judy." That's more rapper of a generation right there. I mean that sincerely. I mean, Money's So Big. We know what that is. Big song, TikTok song.
Another one, that I was.
I mean, it's just like it's just the hook. Like I don't know what you want me to say about it. I don't know what critical breakdown you want me to give this hook. It's like he got it.
Another tragic classic.
It worms your way into the brain. You're going to be saying my money big, my money Tonka. You're going to be saying it. Someone, a friend of mine had, one of his good friends always didn't like Yeat. But started to say, like, get the hook to the song. Head after, and I was like, oh, it's coming.
They're so catchy. Even if you hate them, they're gonna worm your way into your brain. Even if you hate them. It's just some kind of magic that he places into some of these choruses. It's just insane.
Yeah, no, it's insane. I deserve it. I mean, wake up filthy, What do you guys say? One of my bitches told me I deserve it. That's what I tell myself when I'm about to buy something online. So
there we go. Self-care.
Yeah, self-care. Tell me I deserve it, though. Can't Change, similar vibe, excellent song. Not much I'll say about it. I don't want to drag too long throughout this album. But Can't Change and Calling For Me are both very, like, a cool vibe, kind of like on the dismount for the high energy. There's also a funny TikTok I saw a few weeks ago. I posted in a Discord. I don't think you're in this one, but it was like a TikTok over the Can't Change beat, and it was like, I wonder if Yeat knows that gay boys love him. And then it was like one of the top comments was like the yassification of Yeat, and then it was like yas, but with the accent on the A.
The accent on the A, the umlaut on the A. That's great.
This is high class comedy material right there. It's really great.
Damn.
But yeah, I mean, Line for Fun, is like.
And this is kind of. I was surprised that was your like one of your big favorites, because like it's good. It's also I'm almost positive about this that it's his longest he's ever released, because a lot of his tracks are usually like 2 to 3 minutes. This is like 5.
It's longer than a 5-minute Yeat song. Now I have to think. I don't think so.
I don't think there is. I actually don't even know if there's a song that's like 4 minutes.
Yeah, I think 4 would probably top out at. So yeah, I mean, it's a clear like. I don't know if you've seen this in your algorithm. There's a clear like mix of things. I saw this on YouTube, and I just knew that Lying for Fun was going to be the centerpiece, but it was like emotional Yeat mix, 25 minutes, and I was like, yeah, I know that. So it's basically like this has become kind of a fan favorite, and like
absolutely,
I'm not going to disagree, because this song like. There was a period of time.
It's a closer. It's emotional. It's long. It's got sort of like a switch up,
which is a brilliant switch up. The way that it's still one of the craziest beat switches I've ever heard in my life. The way that the vocals are processed and then flipped, and he's saying everything backwards in the way that they swing it.
Mm-hmm.
Is I mean, I don't want to just like throw around genius, but that's like kind of an ingenious thing to do.
Yeah.
And like I said, the fact that he produced it like kind of shattered my brain. So unreal. Yeah. I mean, "You Must Thought I Was Done" is like a quote that is like, tombstone worthy. So, and there's the way that it like plays out in the back half.
Yeah.
When the first half is like overtly somber, and then the back half kind of like kicks through that, and it's like, "Oh, you thought I was dead? Like, you must thought I was done. Like, I know that, you're worried about me because I'm on these drugs or whatever, but nah, fuck that. Like, I still got these racks. Like, I'm about to pull up, blah, blah." But even then, toward the end, when the vocals start hitting that high pitch again,
yeah,
he's like, "Every time I take the perk, it feels familiar." Yeah. Like every time I take, my favorite one is, "I just be taking these perks, 100 grams. I feel like Walking Dead zombie."
Like Walking Dead zombie. Yep. I think he did that in another song too. He loves to reuse bars, but it makes me laugh every time. Like he's done like the "Drink My Kids" line like 4 times.
Maybe a little too much.
It's still funny to me.
Yeah, I feel like Walking Dead zombie, definitely. Definitely a great one. I love every time I was on every time I was on that ledge, I jumped over. So shout out to Yeat, man. What a perfect song to end.
Perfect closer.
Perfect closer to end it.
He really does nail the closers.
Perfect.
He nails the openers and closers perfectly. The openers are like hard hitting. They're in your face. They're like they attack you. And the closers are like, they're just like, they're more emotional. They got more like sort of like a deeper vibe to them. And a great way to close with
no question. Yeah. I mean, and also just like the concept of like lying for fun. Yeah. Whereas like in the beginning, like he's just saying all this shit, like he'll be all right or whatever. Like, I know you're worried about me, but like, he's lying for fun, right? Like he's lying for, so, little put my authoritarian, like, rapper concept hat on here, in the classical sense of lyrical, spiritual, miracles here. We're gonna break down that, and it's a good concept. I enjoyed it. But yeah, I mean, amazing song. It means a lot to me. It was in my top 20 of my songs of the year.
Yeah,
for sure. But yeah, this album, spent like half hour talking about it, but it
deserves to be talked about because it's going to be looked back for sure.
Glad that so many people have listened to this. It's unbelievable. I had a friend text me the other day. He was like listening to the newest Yeat album, and I was like, "What? Like, what do you mean? You don't even listen to like underground rap like that?"
Yeah.
So yeah,
because at this point, it's almost not even underground rap.
It's like, it's in like the nebulous period.
It's like in that limbo sort of stage where like he needs like one more song to blow up before like he's like full mainstream, which he said he wants to do. Like he's like all for it. He's like, "I'm trying to make money." Like,
oh, no question.
Give me some. But like some people want to be like underground legends. Some people want to be like kings of the underground. Like Yeat wants to blow up. So like he's totally ready to like take the crown to be like a new like Uzi or something like that. Like not calling him Uzi, question. But like
just the lane that he could fill.
Yeah,
the lane that he could fill. So I have a question.
Yeah.
Before we close,
okay.
Best post up to me song, because I think it's All Day.
I was gonna say it's either All Day or it's Sick.
Sick is also sick. I mean, wow, great one, Caleb. Sick is a nuts song. Side note.
Yeah.
Is Sick produced? Have you seen the SoundCloud page for Sick?
No, I'm gonna check. I'm gonna pull it up. Hold on.
Okay, because first of all, the production credits for Sick are nuts. Like the actual like producers, like Cedric Martin, and like at least Ginseng makes sense. Cedric Martin is crazy. That doesn't really make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Did Deadmau5?
Deadmau5 did not produce this. I can verify that. As someone who has all of their old usernames and email as Mousehead15, because I was a huge Deadmau5 fan. Clown me all you want for it. I swear. I wish I could change it, but I was a huge Mouse fan. And
but then why does it say? Like, so I guess it's just a weird.
It might
thing. Like I don't actually think Dead Mouse did it.
There's no way he did this.
Stupid name.
There's no way he did this. He's too much of a dick to do it. I can almost guarantee it. But
but yeah, Sick is a crazy song. It's gotten some. Obviously, I like the My Money Be Twerking, My Money Could Damn Walk. Very funny. Good humor. Also, you can hear it in my voice. So, but yeah, Dub is also a sneaky great song. The way that beat is.
Yes.
Like, I just caught a dub. Some Thugs Rock Balloon.
Also, feel free to I sounded way too confident about that, but feel free to correct me if I'm.
There's a reason why I asked because
Paige. Because now I'm worried that I'm gonna have a bunch of people would be like,
oh no, I don't.
I just cannot believe that would be true. It just does not.
I don't believe it's true either, but I would love to see it.
I would collab with my favorite artist when I was 9 and my favorite artist when you're late at 21.
21. Wow.
What a crazy day! What a crazy year!
Anus is a great song too.
Anus is also great. Mm-hmm.
Shout out to the guy in the comment box who said anus. Great, thank you for your commentary, you clown. I like I just put a bell in the song. I don't know why they made TikToks about it.
What does that even mean?
He just put the bell in the song. He doesn't know why they made TikToks about it. I don't know. Have you heard? So I know you've heard Boot Up, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Have you heard the EDM version, EDM leak or whatever?
Is it is it popular? Am I supposed to know it?
It's a very popular snippet. It's Boot Up. It's it never officially released.
What do I look up? Because
just look up Boot Up Yeat, and it should be Boot Up leaked plus HQ. It's also just X with the Boot Up if you want. It's a leak.
Oh, okay. Okay, no. Okay, I understand. No. I definitely remember this.
That music video was also the music video was for a different song, so I'll click on the music video. Yeah.
Oh, dude. And then, what is it? We still don't know the release date, but is it Alive 2 or is it 2 Alive?
I've 2 Alive.
It's 2 Alive. Okay. There were conflicting things about what people were saying it was, but yeah.
Perky hit hard like 808 sizzle. Damn.
Mm-hmm. But
I could go.
So that's coming out in January. I was this ended all the album of the year discussions.
Just top of the year. Top of the year is going to come out. It's going to be next level. I mean.
Also, wait.
Well, and the rumor is the reason All Day got pulled because the rumor is it's on the album. Now, if it is on the album, it better fucking be on the album because that is just ridiculous. If he just dropped this classic and then pulled it, because All Day is you could make a compelling statement. It's one of the 5 best Yeat songs. Someone on Twitter said it was S tier Yeat, and I was yes, it is. I agree. It also has a lot of TikTok momentum. It has it's got everything going for it. It's a crazy accessible song. One of his best hooks. Perfect song.
Did you know that Starboy Rob was on RYM?
No.
He's in the Alive 2 comment box. It's genuinely him.
All right, hold on.
I just looked at his profile. It's him. Or they. I think it's them. Looks like they're NB.
Which, oh, yeah, I see it.
I had no idea. They're literally there. Okay.
Wow. Shout out to that.
Also, I love their profile pic.
It's a great profile pic. Hold on. Someone called Yeat mid. All right. We got to follow this guy. That's actually really funny. Shout out.
They just joined a month ago. So
shout out Starboy Rob.
Starboy. Yep.
So but overall, to wrap up, is there? I know we're both obviously looking forward to Alive. I'm sure if you've made it this far in this podcast, you're looking forward to Alive. ending album of the year discussions January. We already know what it is. How big can he get?
I really think it's one more.
Wait, you want to hear a bad one? Is it up to him?
No. It is, because his entire thing is like, because like I think he said like he's not even like he's not even like in touch with like the mainstream, even though like people are hitting him up. Like he's still in his own sort of group of producers. He's got his own little group of producers, even though he's got Filthy on it, even though he's got like Bugs on the track. He's still like only with his like group of producers, which is good. Like, but like he has the potential to like people want to work with him. There are collabs that people want to happen. He just like hasn't done it yet. Like I said, like if him and Earl would have got on track, that'd be insane.
The space-time continuum would erupt.
I don't even know how that would sound. Like I'm almost picturing like a mesh between like the two sounds. Like I'm not picturing like they only do like a rage beat or they only do like a slums beat. Like they combine the two somehow. That would be crazy. But yeah, like he's got like Yachty, a song with Yachty that's gonna drop. I mean, Drake has already kind of hit him up. Cardi's already hit him up. So I think it's like that when this album drops, there's going to be a song or two or three or four that are going to make waves on like TikTok, or they're going to blow up somehow. Yeah. Just because
it might be half a dozen, you know?
Yeah, it genuinely could be. And I think that's going to be the point where after this album, after Two Alive, that he's gonna focus on like making big waves in like the sort of the mainstream. So I think he can get pretty big. I don't know if he'll ever get to like an Uzi status or something like that, but I think he might go like one step below that sort of line. Like just enough of a household name where if you know rap, you've heard of him.
Yeah, like almost reached that point. It's very conceivable that he can end up on like a Rap Caviar. I just not as like the typical, you know, the typical the typical artist that you would hear on there, you know, from Atlanta or whatever.
Yeah, and what I like about it is that he's not steering from his original sort of direction that he came out with on stuff like Hold On and We Us. Like he hasn't like, even though he's become bigger, he's still sticking to that same sort of like that same sort of sound that he kind of like popularized. He's not going down like he's not doing any like collabs that sound off to like what his own sort of style is. He's sticking to it, and I think he will. I don't think he will sacrifice his sort of unique style in the future with working with collabs. He's either going to drop a collab with someone who's like in on it, and they're going to follow his sort of lead instead of him following. Like he's never going to jump on a Drake track where he's doing just like a certified lover boy beat. Like Drake's going to drop on like a Tragic track. That's how.
Which I mean that's a sentence that what like that's a year ago. What do you even like?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So.
I mean, it's an unreal rise. You know, it's a surreal moment, and you know, we're glad that we could take you through it. If you made it through our damn near 3-hour Yeat podcast, we appreciate you greatly. We appreciate all the listeners here on Living Off Borrowed Time. You know, what I love about this podcast so much is we can do a 3-hour podcast on an Arm & Hammer album. We can do a 3-hour podcast on a bunch of Yeat records. So we're really happy that you guys are listening. We're glad to keep growing, keep giving you the content. If you made it through this episode, hey, you know, leave a comment. You know, tell your friends to subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube,
run it up. Come on,
Anchor, etc. Please run the numbers up. Give us some love on our RYM list if you use that nerdy website, and that'll be it.
Yeah,
I'm Caleb. That's Ben. Ben, thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you so much for having me.
It was Caleb an absolute pleasure.
Please give him all the love everywhere.
Long time coming. Ben is elite, and if you're looking for underground music of most kinds, especially hip hop, Ben is definitely a guy to turn to. One of a few on RYM. So definitely
One of the few
a shout out.
contributors.
Created by Rejection. Well, I will leave that link down there. Yeah, for Ben, I'm Caleb. This has been your weekly Living Off Borrowed Time. Our outro music is Stagnated Pace by Can-Kick. We will see you next week.
It ain't gonna never stop. 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 It ain't gonna never stop.
Time will tell. Time is yet to be conquered by man. But when the time is right, perhaps the greatest revelation of all time will dawn upon us.